Okay, we are good to go. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, and it is clear, 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 clear.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So,
Um, hold on. I can. Yes.
and it is clear, 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 clear.
Yeah. I can. Yes. Yeah.
wọ́n dára rẹ̀ ọmọ 33 years wọ́n ní kó lọ ẹ̀wọ̀n 78 years ṣé wọn ò fẹ́ ní kó lọ ẹ̀wọ̀n wéré ní ìfúnfún ọkùnrin rẹ̀ ní ìlú tó yẹ sílẹ̀ 40,000 ní gbogbo tẹ̀ sọ́wọ́ tí wọ́n máa gbé ní ètò.
Hello, everyone, and welcome, 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 welcome to the International Women's Conference. And I am sure you're excited to be here. And we really want to feel your excitement. We really want to feel your energy here as we would be having some great time with every of our speakers, and all of our sessions are fully packed for you. So if you are here, we would like to have you just introduce
Hello,
yourself.
everyone, and welcome.
We just want to have you introduce yourself in the comment section. Tell us your name and where you are joining us from. My name is Olutola Olukoni, and I'm excited to be here to be your moderator for this conference. And to be sure of who is who, please do well to introduce yourself in the comment section. Introduce yourself in a very fun way. If you are Gen Z, let us know. So you can put it there and be like, I am Gen Z Olutola, calling in from Lagos. And if you're a millennial, of course you're welcome. Please just let us know that you are here with us. And if you cannot hear us as well, you can let us know so we can know how to assist you. So let's keep the introductions coming, 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 coming. Thank you. Okay, it is very important that you introduce yourself. I mean, your next employee, your next employer, your next customer, your next business partner can be on this call. And it is only by introducing yourself that we can get to know yourself. So be very intentional about your introductions. Thank you, Adebisi. Yes, that's the energy. It is very important, very, very important. And we are going to say so much about this as we start. I, Tolu Animi, you're welcome. I, Sheye, you're welcome. I, Olisa, awesome. Awesome Gen Z in the building. Let's have the introductions coming. Okay, Toluwanimi is not sure of the generation she stands, but she's standing on the promises of God. I mean, that's some woman of God introduction there. Okay, so we just have the introductions, and then we just go quickly into the next thing we have on the agenda. Okay, let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. Okay, yes. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so we are going to be having the link dropped in the chat box. We can do well to share with people, let them know that the Intentional Women Conference is here. We have started and we are ready to dive in straight. No African time, of course. So we are going straight into the business. So once again, thank you all for your introduction. And if you are just joining us, please do well to introduce yourself in the chat box and share with your people. Let them know that the program has started and you want them to be here. Extend your love to them by inviting them to join us. So very quickly, we are going into the next thing, and that would help set the tone for this program. And then before we move on, I would just like to spell out some rules, not rules, but just some guidelines to help us and ensure that we have a very good stay on the call. And we would want to encourage you not to just join and be absent minded. We want you to be very active all through this program. It is going to be worth your time, and we don't want you to miss any minutes, because every minute is as important as the next minute. So this minute is as important as the next minute. Then we want to encourage you to tweet and talk about the conference everywhere. Let them know that something big is happening. Use the hashtag. We'll be dropping the hashtag as well on the in the comment section. If you know anyone who registered but you cannot see them on the call, you can also reach out to remind them to join. Feel free to use the chat when necessary. If there is anything that a speaker is saying and that resonates well with you, just drop it there so that we know that you are following. And when also required to respond, please do well to respond. We want our speakers to, feel your energy. We want it to be energy for energy, aura for aura. and then sit back with your pen in your hands and your journal in front of you, because you don't want to miss anything. You always want to go back to remind yourself of the important points. So write, keep writing on your notepad, on your journals, your iPad, whatever writing material you want to use. Make sure that you are writing something. And on this note, I officially welcome you to the Intentional Woman Conference. And coming up is the convener of this program. I mean, this woman has brought in women from different sectors, different sphere of influence, and I think it is safe to even say that she is influential. For you to bring in this kind of women to a call to come speak to other powerful women, I think it is a big deal. So, on this note, I'd like to welcome Deborah Olugbade, the convener of the International Women's Conference. You're welcome, Deborah.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me? Please confirm that you can hear me.
Yes, I can.
Oh, all right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone, wherever you're tuning from. And welcome to the Intentional Woman Conference 2025. I'm a bit skeptical to say welcome to the first edition because it means that there will be more editions, but we'll see how that goes. Only God knows if there will be more editions, but I'm really excited for this edition. And I want to say yes that we did this. This took a whole lot of strength, and I'm really proud of myself and the team for pulling this. And I'm grateful that you are here. I count this a privilege. I'm not even joking. My name is Deborah Olugbade, for those who don't know me, and I'm the founder of Hearts and Intentions Company Limited, a gift brand located in Lagos, Nigeria. And what do we do? So at Hearts and Intentions, we make gifting intentional and heartfelt. So we give gifts every day, right? But beyond the giving of gifts every day, what we ask is, okay, how can we make this intentional? How can we make this heartfelt? How can we make this through? How can we make this meaningful to the recipient? How can it be tailored and thoughtful to the recipient? And beyond the gifts that we create, one of our core values is intentionality. I mean, it's in our name. And at the heart of our mission is the fact that, okay, how can we spread intentionality? We're spreading intentionality to one human at a time. That is one of our goals. So beyond the gifts that we're putting together and sending out, we want to spread intentionality to everybody as much as we can. And why? Intentionality is very powerful. It has changed my life. It has made me a better person. It has made me who I am today. And I genuinely believe that intentionality can solve a lot of problems in the society. You would ask me how? Because it gives us the ability to be better people. It gives us the ability to pause, to choose, to reflect and become. It gives us that ability to say, okay, this person did this, but I choose to do this. I choose to do this for myself, not just because of any other person. I choose to respond differently. And all that stems from being intentional. I have a father, which is God, and he's very intentional about me. So who am I to say that I won't be intentional? Who am I to say that I won't spread that towards others when I know how much of an intentional God he is to me? So now imagine if we were all like this. Imagine if we all had this mindset. What would the society look like? Right. So imagine that I get to inspire one person, I get to inspire Olutola, and she gets to inspire the next person, and that person gets to inspire another person. There's a ripple effect. Now imagine what the society would have, what kind of society that we would have. And this is one of the reasons why this conference is holding. Now, let me give you a bit of backstory. This was supposed to be originally a full blown project called the Project 8, a program to help women develop core employability skills beyond learning design, beyond learning code, beyond learning how to be a social media manager. What core skills, what foundational skills can we build as a person? Skills that will build you as a person, skills, life skills, and foundational skills. But we realized that it was quite a heavy project and we're not ready to launch that. But still, I wanted something to mark the March 8th, which is Women's Day. And at some point, I realized, oh, let's have a conference. Let's start small. Let's hold something small, because anybody who knows me knows I like to work with excellence. So if it's not going to give me that excellent vibe, let's not do it. Let's step back and plan. So yes, we decided to do this. And you see, people around me, my friends, people that know me closely, they call me the intentional woman. I just recently posted on my status now that I made a post in 2021 that had the logo of intentional woman. It was just me being me, but look at us here today in 2025, and we are holding a whole conference. And I've seen intentionality that is beyond me. It's a powerful message that is beyond me. It's not just about me. More women, more people need to come into this light. And to live meaningful, to live purposefully and intentionally. So last March that just finished, I attended an event that had to do with discussing issues affecting women. And it was not just about, oh, let's talk. It was about how can we solve these issues beyond talking, beyond motivation. How can we solve these issues? And one of the things that was mentioned is the fact that we need to look for education beyond the classroom. We need to look for education, life education. People need to get into life education beyond what you get in school, in university. There's life education too. And that's what intentional living is really about. How can I build my character? How can I live healthy? How can I grow a business that's not just for me? How can I grow a business that stands for legacy? And that is at the heart of this. I tell my team members all the time that if you only stick to what is on your job description, you are going to remain at the same point. You will not grow. You need to step out there and look for knowledge. You need to say, okay, what do I not know today that I need to know that would help me be a better person? That's living intentionally. That's setting you on a career path intentionally. So intentional living is tied around this mindset of what can I do differently? How can I be a better person? And that brings us to today. And today I've brought you other women who are walking the talk, like Olutola said. And each time I look at that flyer, I'm like, myself, I'm not small. See the women I brought for you
I know,
guys.
right?
Because these are not ordinary women. They are women doing stuff. And I want you to do more than just sit and be motivated today. Yes, you're going to get inspired, but I want you to go beyond that. I want you to convert inspiration into discipline. I want you to convert inspiration into intentional actions. Let the things that you're going to learn today be things that by in years to come you'll be like, yes, I learned this thing, but I'm thankful that I did it for myself. Because inspiration is great, but what you do after is what matters. So these women will share their stories, and I want you to sit back, listen, enjoy, take your notes, journal. We get to learn about people's successes in their stories, right? So yes, learn and sit back and learn and listen with your heart. And please enjoy every moment. Let us know what you've learned in the comment section. Once again, thank you for being here, and God bless you.
Awesome. A round of applause for our for the convener. That was a very straight to the point welcome speech, and there is something you have said that you want us to be able to you want us to be able to um, um take the inspiration and make it into discipline. That is you just emphasizing on the fact that motivation is not enough. Get motivated and do the work. Get inspired and do the work. And so for all the women on this call today, joining us for this conference, you are not living here with just the knowledge. You are taking the knowledge and you're applying it. You're making good use of the tips that you would be getting to not just live ordinarily, but to live as an intentional person, taking every step and every decision as necessary. So we're just going to move into uh powerful panel session. I am very expectant of this session because as much as I am moderating the panel, I am also here to learn from these powerful women. So we would have them join us and I would be reading out their profile in a bit. Okay. All right. Thank you. So I'll be starting with the profile of Dumomi Durojaye, the founder of the Elio brand. Dumoni Drojaye is an inspiring and multifaceted individual, seamlessly balancing her medical studies with a passion for empowering others. As a fifth-year medical student of Obafemi Awolowo University, she firmly believes that everyone possesses a unique light destined to illuminate the world. Driven by this belief, she dedicates her life to helping people uncover and shine their light through diverse expressions, including her business, the Earlier brand, YouTube channel, podcast show, and lifestyle in general. She is a visionary behind the brand, a merchandise e-commerce store that crafts custom-made items designed to inspire confidence and faith in people, beliefs, and realities. Through its wearable and ownable creations, the brand helps individuals boldly shine their lights, and in less than 3 years of being in business, she has served over 1,500 customers across 5 nations of the world. Her entrepreneurial excellence was recognized when she was honored as one of the top 100 women in business and e-commerce by Bumper during the International Women's Day 2023 celebration and received Nigeria 25 under 25 awards in the e-commerce category. She has gone on to be nominated for several for several awards in the excellence business category. When she's not immersed in academics and business, she channels her passion and creativity into taking up leadership roles, shooting YouTube videos, and managing social media pages. She is also deeply invested in teaching others how to become better versions of themselves, fulfilling their mission to inspire growth and transformation. Our journey reflects a life of purpose, faith, and service, making her a beacon of hope and inspiration for many. So join me as I welcome Du Momi Durojaye.
Hi,
Thank you for joining us. Yeah, hi Du Momi.
thanks
Thank you
for
for
having
joining
me.
us.
Thank you.
Yeah, so coming up next is Dr. Toluwanimi Adunloju, a public health professional and cancer researcher. Dr. Toluwanimi is a passionate public health professional dedicated to bridging healthcare gaps by improving health policies, research, and advocacy. With over 3 years of experience in the non-profit sector and a proven track record of designing, implementing, and managing impactful public health initiatives, particularly in cancer prevention and care, she is a program officer. She's a programs officer at a leading cancer-focused non-profit organization. She has spearheaded initiatives including community-based cancer screenings, patient support programs, and public health education campaigns, directly impacting over 2,500 individuals. Driven by a commitment to bridging healthcare gaps, she leveraged her interdisciplinary background to improve public health outcomes locally and
Ah,
globally.
oh God.
As a
Ó
cancer
pọ̀ tó bí
researcher,
kiri.
she has made significant contribution to cancer research locally and globally, including recent publications in the American Journal of Surgery. She is popularly referred to as the global woman in health. In her free time,
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
she's reading, writing, or traveling the world. Please let's make welcome Dr. Toluwanini Aduloju as she joins us. Awesome. Okay, so I would also be introducing the next panelist, and she is Taiwo Jackson, a business analyst and a career development advocate. Taiwo Jackson, Global Woman, is a dynamic business analyst driving change in financial services. With a strong foundation in STEM, as an award winning geology graduate recognized for excellence in geological field mapping, Taiwo brings a unique analytical perspective to our work. With over 6 years' experience in operations, data analysis, and process improvement, she delivers tangible results. Notably, she led a project saving our organization 250 million naira and significantly reduced their environmental footprint. She recently started a series called The Level Up Life, a LinkedIn series dedicated to helping people on career development. Beyond her career, Taiwo support missionaries in Africa through the Million Ally Foundation, sharing their stories via the Big Deals About Missions podcast and providing Bibles through the Bible Parcel Project. Since 2021, she raised over 50 million naira for missions across 24 Nigerian states and 9 African countries. Taiwo's story is a testament to the power of combining professional excellence with deep commitment to making a difference. Please let's welcome Taiwo Jackson to the panel for today. Welcome, Taiwo, and thank you for joining
Hi, good
us.
afternoon. So good to be here.
Good to have you as well. So, coming up next is Oyilola Lawal. Okay. Oyilola is a content marketing strategist with 6 years of experience across creative, advertising, digital marketing, recruitment, and finance. She has a proven track record of developing and executing high impact content strategies that drive brand growth, engagement, and revenue. Currently a content marketing executive at Credit Direct, the fintech arm of FCMB Group, she plays a pivotal role in shaping the company's brand voice, crafting compelling corporate communications, telling stories that connect finance with everyday life. Beyond her corporate role, she's the president of Lady with Balls Money Gang, the financial subsidiary of Lady with Balls, where she's dedicated to empowering individuals, especially women, to become financially smart, focused, and independent. She is also the author of The Graduate Compass, a free resource guiding recent graduates towards career and financial independence. Driven by a passion for impactful storytelling, brand building, and strategic communication, Oyinlola uses content as a tool to educate, engage, and inspire meaningful action. Whether in finance, career growth, or personal development, she is the content queen. Please let's make welcome Oyinlola Lawal as she joins us. Thank you for joining us.
I'm really happy to be here today. Hi, everyone.
Yeah, we're glad.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon. We're happy to have you join us as well. So, to bring on the next person on the power panel session, we'll be having Abayomi Adeola Dela, a champion of growth and impact. Abayomi Adeola Dela is a firm believer in growth, leaving no stone unturned in the pursuit of personal, professional, and communal development. Our efforts span across law, education, coaching, and advocacy, leading thousands of lives both locally and globally. She is a project and product manager and an alumni fellow of Women Tech Stars at Tech for Dev. With years of experience in digital marketing, business development, nonprofit management, and life coaching, she also completed the MBA Grade Program for Visionaries at the Visionary Compass Accelerator Program. She's passionate about equipping young people to drive despite challenge, and she launched a coaching business, the Becoming Circle Limited, focused on providing strategies, tools, and resources for purposeful living, and is building a community for individuals committed to growth and action. Della's passion for volunteering, children education, and community development led her to establish Evol Africa, where she trains, nurtures children and youth to create change aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals. She also launched an education fund to provide capital and skill development for children and youth. Her vision is to inspire and empower others to create meaningful, lasting change in their lives and beyond. Please let's welcome Adeola Della as she joins us. Thank you, Della, for joining us. And I can assure every one of us on this call that this is just more like a summary of their profile. There is a lot to these women, and the few minutes we have is not just enough to unravel everything. So, thank you, women, for joining us once again for this power panel session. And we will be going straight into it. Okay, so we have a couple of questions for individuals, and then we have group questions as well. So there are questions that are targeted specifically to every one of you because of your sector where you operate in, and basically what you've done in the past and even what you are looking to doing. And then we have general questions that we would ask and have one or two of you or even all of you respond to those questions to the end that our audience gets answers to many of the questions in their hearts and even those that they have provided us. So going straight into the session. Okay, please just a minute. Okay, so we'll be starting with Dr. Tolu. Um, Knowing fully well that mentors have a very important place in the lives of women, we would want to ask our first question on that, and that would basically be um, okay, I think we should even start from what you would say about living by design. Like what would you have to say to that topic? What does living by design means to you? And then we'll now go to the next question. So it's going to be like two in one. And how have mentors, role models, or even community networks influenced your journey into living intentionally?
All right. Thank you very much. Can everybody hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, then. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Toluwanimi, and once again, I want to say thank you to Olutola and the rest of the team for having me here. So, to dive straight into the question, what I would say living by design means to me basically is first of all, choosing how you want to live your life and how you want to do it. So it's a conscious and intentional effort in your approach to life. And for me, this would translate to identifying the things that are important to you. And this is not even it's not me trying to be cliche. At the end of the day, a lot of things are important to everybody in different ways. So you have to find out what you consider important. You have to identify your values, the things that you think that you cannot compromise on. We have people that, regardless of how it is, they can't deal with you if you are not a kind person. So identify the values that you cannot compromise on. I have mine. For example, I would, no matter what it is, I won't compromise on integrity because of the kind of work I work in, integrity is very important for me. So when you identify the things that you think are valuable to you, you also, it helps you to shape your own design, how you want your own life or the people around you to live. And finally, I would say that knowing your boundaries, because I mean, we live with people. The boundaries that you cannot communicate would easily get trampled on. So no, let people know you for something. Let people know the things that you will not accept. Let them know that, oh, this person, in the more familiar tone, they will say, oh, this person is a Jesus baby. She will not do it. It's good. It's better for them to know you for something than for them to know that just go and meet her. She'll sort it out. Like you are a walk in a park. People easily get done, things done, mostly the wrong things done through you. So you have to be able to communicate your boundaries and let people be aware of it, because again, what like I said, what the boundaries that people are not aware of, they will trample on. And most importantly, you have to be proactive in your approach to life. You are the greatest player in your life and the outcomes of your life. So I'm not a business person, but I would always tell my friends, fortunately, I'm surrounded with a lot of people that do business. I always tell my friend that nobody can market your business like you. So you are the chief player in the journey of your life. You are first your number one cheerleader, your number one critic, your number one everything. And as much as you want to live by design, there's no design that happens without you. The divine first starts with, I'm a Christian, so I would always say the God is the source at the end of the day. But the next major player after God is you, because you constantly make the design, you constantly make the choices. And as humans, we are a product of the numerous choices and decisions that we make. So the woman that you had today is not your village people that did you. It is the choice that you woke up every day to make. And that is part of I think choice is the major thing that actually forms that shapes the design of what we are now or what we will be for the future. So if you think that the life that you are living now is not what exactly you want, you have to also make a choice to make a change. Thank you. So I think there were two questions. I would say that again, I'm a put their shoulders down for me to climb on, and is very grateful for the first person that took a chance on me. I don't know into yet, but my senior colleagues, Dr. Praise Adeyemo, was the one person that decided to say she's going to take me on my word. So again, communicate the things that you want to do, dreams that you have in your heart, and somehow somebody somewhere would see an opportunity and say, oh, I know somebody that can do this, and put you on it. But you are just not seeing the idea in your mind, you're not saying it out. There's no way anybody can pick it up or at least mention your name in the room of opportunities. And I'm grateful that I had Dr. Praise in my circle at that time, and somehow she was the one that actually mentored me in. And when it comes to mentorship, I would always say that it's not until you have them at close range, it's not until you have them as your friends. Because to be honest, when it comes to friendships, a lot of see finish can enter, except you are a very disciplined person. Yeah. So I would say that when it comes to mentorship, it's good to have people that you look ahead to be. You look ahead to be like them, not necessarily in all things, but maybe you say, oh, this person, I like how she speaks. You need to find out how they got to that stage. Because to be honest, every result that you have seen is a product of intentional effort to be better. So whichever dream or aspiration or person that you are aspiring to be like, you also have to know that as much as you covet their results, they had to do work behind the scene. So be ready to do the work. And when it comes to mentorship, can we hear me? All right.
Yes, I can
All
hear
right,
you.
good. So when it comes to mentorship, I would always say that
Yes, we
it's
can.
important that more than the glamour of, oh, this person is my mentor, something is my mentor. Again, mentorship is hard work. I personally don't subscribe to the idea of having to reach out to people for mentorship. But I think that once you have an interest in people or in the work that they do, or you see them as people that can add value to your life, it is important that you present yourself valuable to them first before you seek to them for value. And that's where a lot of people miss it. So you come to me to say, oh, Dr. Toluwanimi, I see you are doing so much in the cancer space. I do a lot of work, but you are not you now say, oh, I would like you to mentor me. At the same time, you also want me to chase you around and tell you, I mean, be proactive about your life. If you are going to, whether as you are seeking a mentor or you are trying to mentor somebody, you have to be proactive. Let's be one step ahead. Know the things that you can do to assist those that you are trying to reach out to. Again, you only get to see the deep parts of your mentor when you present yourself valuable. And if you find out well, nobody refuses value as long as it's important to them.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you so much. That was very deep, and I think one thing you mentioned that is not that we need to continuously remind ourselves on is that we are like at the center of it all. So we have to be very intentional. Like, you own your life, and you can you how do I put it now? Your life is in quote now in your hands, and it is important that you are very proactive in taking certain decisions. You also mentioned how important it is to do the work and just stop nursing the idea, do something. Thank you so much, Dr. Toluwanimi. So because we have gone this route, I would want to also have do Dumomi too. I would want you to then answer this question, considering that you are a student and you've been able to do so much, even in that position of being a student. How would you um, um, tell your story in terms of sharing the turning point where you chose to intentionally design your life and not just be an ordinary student? What really inspired you? Was he a mentor somewhere, a role model somewhere, or a community of students somewhere?
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you so much for that question. I've been introduced already. My name is Dumomi Jai, and I'm a fifth year medical student. And the turning point for me, I mean, there have been several turning points, but the major one happened during the pandemic. So before the pandemic, prior to the pandemic, I've always been this academic person. I would always top the class. I would usually do well in my academics, right? And it was as if it was only academics I was doing. But during the pandemic, when um, we didn't have anything to do, like in the academic sense, like academically, my academics was paused. I was not wondering, I was not like, aside from school, what else can I do? I mean, I was out of school for a long time, but then I begin to realize that there is more to me than just school. I could not afford to do only school things. School can pause anytime. I mean, I've been at home since January, since February, right? Not in school. And if I was not doing any other thing, what would I have been doing? I would have been jobless, to say the least. But sleeping and waking up would not do it for me. I knew that I had so much potential, but there is so much work to be done to unleash, this potential to the world. So during that pandemic, there was this program by DDK, Activation Intensive, and I joined the program. I did all the activities, majority of the activities, right? And there was just this unrest within me. I started to live with that mantra that there is more to the mommy. So starting from that point on, I knew that this is not the best of me. There is always more. And because I was so confused, I didn't know exactly what to do. I did a lot of things. God, I tried a lot of things. I placed my hand on so many things, but there were two things that I was like I was never going to do. And it's funny now because the two things I said I was never going to do are the two things, like, they are two of my major expressions today. That's business and YouTube. I mean, that time I was like, I can never do business because how will I be telling people to come and buy what I'm selling? It's just very weird. But I thank God for growth. And now I'm even a YouTuber, and I was like, I can never show myself on camera, but look at where we are now. So yeah, pandemic did it for me.
Oh, okay. So the follow-up question to that now would be, for students who are looking to start, what are those things you say to them? So this question will basically just help them anticipate issues that they may have so that they are able to navigate and manage all of those risks. And also in the times when they will probably feel overwhelmed and they're like, you know what, let's focus on this book and then we'll come back to business. So what would you say to students who are on this call who would want to also start up something, maybe a business or their YouTube channel, and you want to be able to guide them appropriately?
Okay, so the first thing I will say is that there will never be a better time to start than now. Start afraid, start clueless. I mean, I was the most clueless person when I started my business. I was like, let's just see where this will lead us, right? It was a lot. I mean, to start, I started, I got the idea maybe October, but I didn't do anything until I didn't start the business until like April the following year because I was just so unsure. I was like, people will think that, who does she think she is? Because I was very scared on many levels, but I have learned to start afraid, start clueless. You will learn, as time goes on, you will learn on the job. I mean, having that learning on the job mindset has helped me a lot. So, but of course, don't be afraid to seek for help. You need help. Embrace help. Don't be afraid to ask for it. In your academics, you will need people that, they are better than you. Maybe they are on the same level, as you are, and you will need their help in one way or the other. Is it catching up with assignments? Don't separate yourself from your other classmates because you are the business owner. So even if business is trying to take away your attention,
Mhm.
look for ways to put yourself in groups that you guys will study together and can keep you accountable with your academics. Community does this thing to you that you cannot be behind. You cannot afford to be behind. So you want to be in a good community when it comes to your academics, and also a good community with your when it comes to your business. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a group of people, like, you are having a community name or something. It can just be one friend here, one friend there. So I have like friends that I know I can rant to when it comes to business talk. I have friends that I can rant to when it comes to academics, and they'll be like, "The mommy, you have to do this, you have to do that." So be very, very careful, like be intentional about like the people that you keep around you. And when it comes to people that you keep around you too, you have to be careful of the words that they say to you, because words are very, very important. If people are saying to you, who do you think you are? Do you think you can undo all these things? Like, if people start discouraging you, you don't want to be in that place. You want to be in a place where people are encouraging you. Oh, you can do this. Okay, yeah, some people can say that they admire you, but don't let that get into your head too. But just have people that are helping you, they are talking sense into you. And then another thing that does it for me is I know myself. I know how I study, right? I know what study pattern works for me. I cannot do overnight and still survive, still function that day. That day is gone for me, right? So I rather do early morning study. So when people are doing overnight, leaving their rooms, I would rather actually sleep, because that sleep, it will help me to function better in my business and also my academics. Yes, you might think
Yeah.
you don't have a lot of time, but you have you have to conserve your energy too. You have to know how to conserve your energy too. So you have to know how best you assimilate and retain knowledge, understand your patterns. Don't follow everyone to do whatever they are doing, right? Do you when it comes to your academics. It is very, very, very important. Lastly, I would say that you have to be intentional about how you spend your time, right? Understand that you are different, but don't separate yourself from your colleagues. This understanding made me know that I have a friend like that does business or that does school only, right? And we're very, very close. But understand that we're not on the same journey. So I cannot compare myself with her every time. So understanding yourself, knowing that you are different, but not separating yourself is very, very important.
Thank you. Thank you. Understand yourself, surround yourself with people who would encourage you. So that's more like putting yourself in an environment that would encourage your growth. So we have a couple of other questions for all of our panelists, and we want to encourage that we will try to manage the time so that we get the best out of the session. We have questions for you. So I want you to be able to answer every one of them. So that would take me to Taiwo Jackson, knowing that you are a professional and you're more like holding some people in their career development phase. We would want to ask how you balance self-care with career growth, knowing that it can be very demanding. So how do we bring about balance in terms of taking care of ourselves, growing our career, and still being able to live that purposeful life, that life that we dream of, that we really want to live without compromising, and even how to also survive the stage of overwhelm.
Thank you so much. Please let me confirm if you can hear me.
Yes, I can.
All right, thank you again. And I just want to say a very big thank you to the organizers and everybody who put things together for this Intentional Women's Conference. You guys are truly being intentional. So, with me, I'm a woman of many parts, and
Mm,
sometimes those parts collide. So,
mm,
to reduce the collision, because sometimes I don't think that balance is attainable in some sense, right?
mm,
Because currently I have like an online course I'm taking that's very important. I'm going to write an exam at the end of, doing Level Up Live, my regular work activity, Mission Ally, and a couple of other things, right? So the is to how I do this, how I stay sane, right, is literally to understand the kind of season that I'm in. So right now I know that there are so many things that are on my plate, and there'll be so many other things that cannot get on my plate. So there are things that I can take on right now. There are things that if you bring it, I'm like, I love you, but I'm sorry I won't be able to take this because I have just one life, right? And if I cut it short now, I'll give account to my Lord and Savior who will ask me, did I send you? Right? So it's also to put it to be discerning of the things that I see Dr. Tolani is laughing. It's also to be discerning of the things that I can take on at this time and things that I cannot take on. There are some things that I'll be like, I'm so sorry, I love you, but I cannot take it on right now. And also the importance of scheduling or scheduling has helped my life a great deal, right? So
mm,
at the beginning of the month, I'll write out the things that I want to do. If it's not on my calendar, I'm sorry, I may not be able to remember, right? If it's not on my calendar, if it's not on my Google task list, I'm sorry, I won't be able to remember. A friend of mine just yesterday told me, oh, she did a short film, something, 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 and she would like me to watch it, review it. Immediately, I put it on my Google task calendar that watch Happiness's short movie and give her a review. if I cannot, and I'm just so grateful to Tony Ajilore who taught me this hack earlier this year, and that's helped my life a great deal. So since the beginning of this year, using Google Task has really helped me. So scheduling things and knowing when to say no, understanding the season that I'm in, and saying, okay, I love you, but I cannot do this. Can I have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H person do it for you? And the great thing is, God has helped me so much that I have people and resources at my disposal to say, okay, if you are looking for something, I may not be able to help you. People who are looking for houses, for example, Taiwo, I'm looking for this kind of apartment. Oh, I've had somebody ask me this thing. Can I pair both of you together, look for it, and then I have helped you, I have helped them, I have moved it on for my plates, right? So if I mean having to balance this thing, and writing things down helps me a lot. I've talked about scheduling. So for example, with the things I want to write for link on LinkedIn, I have a whole Google documents this year. We've been the best of friends. Google documents, Google slides, we've been the best of friends. Because if I have a thought right now, the best believe I would open a Google document, write it inside. Right? Because if I don't write inside, I will forget. And I will forget. And I'm not trying to be like I don't have amnesia, but there's so many things in my head. Right. So writing things down has helped me a great deal. So I have, for example, LinkedIn topics I want to speak to in the month of April. I did not do at the beginning of the month. So the whole of last week I wasn't able to post, for example. So this morning I'd written down a couple of topics. By the time I come back home or after church tomorrow, I'll start fleshing it up. By the time I get to the office, I'll write some things in before work starts. I will schedule it. So I mean, just having, just knowing the season that you're in, leveraging people around you, tools would help you a great deal. My calendar is one of my best friends. Google Documents is my best friend. Google Slides, Google spreadsheets is my best friend, because if I don't write it down, I cannot remember. So saying no too sometimes, because I cannot die, right? And I know that you don't want me to die, right? And I may be
Yeah.
saying this with a lot of humor, but I'm just saying that saying no sometimes will help you
Nice.
with your mind space. So there are some things that if you bring something to me for May, I can right now I know that I cannot do anything. Do you understand? That's how much. And it's not like planning to the T, because sometimes some things will happen that will throw your calendar off schedule. But it will be better if you had planned than you hadn't. So and lastly, a friend of mine asked me, "Oh, can you attend my wedding in January?" And the wedding is this month. I told him, "I'm sorry, I won't be able to attend, because I already know that I was going to do something that week of the wedding, right from January. And if it wasn't in my calendar, I'll be having two clashing events. So it helps me scheduling, knowing when to say no. Delegating also helps me to stay sane and balance things out."
Awesome, awesome. So Taiwo did not just drop tips for us; she even gave us productivity hack and tools. So I know that we are picking up our devices now. For those of us who don't have those tools, we are downloading them, and if you have them already, it is time to begin to put them into use because they would help you. They would really help you. I have a follow-up question for that, and that would be: have you ever gotten to a point? Yes, yes. Have you ever gotten to a point where you you were like, I don't think it is worth it. Like you just want to give up. What did you do to bounce back? I mean, you are doing career, you are very active even in church, you are doing missions, ally and all of that.
So
So in just about a minute or so,
okay,
you
so
can
I
walk us
get to
through
that
that.
point from time to time. So I now step back and say, okay, what's going on? I try to find the root cause of the overwhelm, or yeah, of the overwhelm, and be like, is this something that I can tackle? And there are some times that, so for example, last week I was like, I didn't post anything on LinkedIn, because not just because I didn't have anything to post, but I was just too tired, right? Sometimes just take some breaks, take some rest. The thing about it is that I heard mommy Fa Adejuma say that you're not El Shaddai, you will die. And I know I've been saying it so many times today, right? Know when to take breaks, know when, because rest is very productive. And this is me that has learned the hard way. Because me, I'm very restless, I'm very spontaneous, I have to do this, 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 right? But
Yeah.
if you don't get to a point where you're like, you know what, I can't do this currently, and just step down, right? You get to a point of over. There was a point where, I think a friend said that my brain was tired. I can't remember the word he
Mm,
said, but my brain was tired. And I'm like, yes, because I will sleep early, I'll wake up tired. There were so many symptoms and prompters my body was giving me. And if I didn't take those prompters, best believe that I would have ended up in a hospital. And those things I'll not be able to do it, right? So mine would just be when you're getting overwhelmed, know your body, know the symptoms that you get when you are
mm,
approaching that phase of life, and then take a step back. I promise you everything would be all right, right? And if you don't think
mm,
everything will be all right, delegate it to somebody who can help you. Or if you don't have anybody that can help you,
mm,
just tell everybody, please, I'm going on a social media break. I'm going on this break. Whatever you want to do, drop me a message whenever I'm available. I will respond. Because if you put yourself in danger, at the end of the day, the world will go on, right? At the end of the
mm,
day, the world will
yeah.
proceed. So take a step back to really analyze where
Mm,
this thing is coming from. Why do I feel this way? Do a root cause analysis of what is making me feel this way. When you get to the root cause of it, try to tackle it. Also, I also advise that you rest. Rest is very productive.
all right. Thank you. So women, rest. Prioritize rest because rest is productive. Understanding now that there are different aspects of our lives beyond the career, I would want to go next to Oyinlola, the president of everything money. I called it that because I mean she's helping people build their financial life, financial independence and all of that. And so this question will be tailored towards that aspect. um would love you to share the turning point in your financial life that has changed your current philosophy on money management. So what is it that really helped you to start this journey towards financial growth? The challenges that you've also encountered and how you were able to overcome them.
All right. Thank you very much for having me on this conference or webinar, for lack of a better word. Can you just confirm if you can hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. Okay. So to your question, the turning points of my life where I realized that money must be made. I would say growing up, money wasn't just enough, right? And I'm not even speaking from the standpoint of I need plenty money and all. It was literally a stage where things were not so rosy at home, and this was around undergraduate years. I schooled in OAU, by the way, and things were quite difficult to the point where it was difficult pay to pay my school fees for 200 level. Yeah, 200. No, yeah, 200 level, 300 level, and then that was the point in my life where I think things were not so good at home, and my dad had some issues financially, and I just kept telling myself that in this life, I must have money because it was not so cool because there was a point I had to even get a loan from a friend at least, which was able to like offset some of the things, school fees, rent, and all of that. But it was just something that kept ringing in my head that you see this money, people are making it, and I must make it. I'm not just in life to just probably just leave and then go without making my impact financially. And then the turning point was maybe that was part of the journey. I would call that the journey to understanding that money is very important in life, and it's not necessarily the end. It's a means to an end. And then the turning point for me was when I was able to get scholarship, and in particular I was in an organization, and one of the fellows, people that were part of the organizations that became alumni, right, was able to place me on this form of scholarship from 200 level up until 400 level. And then it just dawned on me that in this life, while it is important to make money, it's also important to know that for me, I want to get to that stage where I would also pay it forward. Somebody that didn't know me was able to um, provide for my needs, send me money monthly. As small as it may sound, this was, I mean, as far back as 2017, I was getting 10,000 naira per month, aside from, the person paying my school fees from 200 level to 400 level. And then it just made me realize that in this life, again, I must say, I have to say it, right? Money must be made. It feels very cliche, it feels very generic, but it's one of the principles that guide how I live life, right? And then that turning point for me was me saying that money is not just going to be made for me and my family, it was also going to be made such a way that I would also be a blessing to people. So that's like I said before, money is a means to an end. So that's me seeing money as a blessing. So it's not just money for money's sake. It's not just money for having money, but it's money to make my lives of people around me, even people I do not know, better. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's like the turning point for me.
Oh wow, awesome. Awesome. Okay, so I will just quickly go to Della. Hi Della. So Della is someone who wears many hats, and top of the question for us. Hi Della, please can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I'm with you. Coming on my video.
Oh,
You can go ahead.
oh, all right. Thank you. Okay, so the question would be that what are the top things for women who are looking to curating an intentional life with God? What are the top things that they should consider? Things that will really help them in their journey, help them to balance all of their expressions with their spiritual life such that it doesn't suffer for it.
All right. Good. What's them? Good afternoon, everybody. It's so beautiful to be here. Well done to Deborah. Well done to all the team members who have been on top of this. I feel like it's so phenomenal and it's intentional, like last put it. So well done, everybody. So first of all, I feel like when we talk about spirituality or when we talk about our relationship with God or our devotion to God, we sort of like see it as a different part of our lives, right? So when people talk about spirituality, they're saying, well, then how do you not let your spirituality suffer while doing every other thing? And my basic answer usually is my spiritual life is not different from every other thing that I do. And if anything, if at all, anything, it's sort of like circles around every other thing that I do. So if you're looking at my social impact work, my entrepreneurship, um, my work with women, my work with children, whatever it is, right? It circles back to God. So I'm doing every single thing I'm doing under an instruction from God or guidance from God or a conviction that I've gotten, working with God. And I see a lot of people sort of take out their spiritual life from every other thing that they're doing. So the first hack, right, let's call it that way, to getting it right in your spiritual life while doing every other thing is knowing that you only have one source. There's no way you are going to be able to do anything in your life, whether it's your business or whether it's a non-governmental organization that you run or whether it's a group of people that you mentor. There's no way you're going to be able to do all of those things, right, without it coming from that very center, that core, which is God. So you have to see your relationship with God as the centerpiece of every other thing that comes from your life. So don't see it like, oh, it's different, or don't see it like, oh, see it as a fuel that has to fuel every other thing. So it's a channel that once you turn off the tap of your spiritual life, once you turn off the tap of that relationship you have with God, it automatically turns off every other place. And this is how you know, right? The moment you turn off your spiritual tap, let me put it that way, you start to have some sort of you have to have some sort of overwhelm. You start to feel like you are bringing a lot from nothing. You start to get burnt out, right? You start to feel like you're doing everything out of compulsion and not necessarily from an outflow that you have within you. So a lot of times when you are able to see that your various expressions are coming from that very thing or from that very person, which is God, then it makes the work easier for you. It makes it easier for you. You're able to see that I'm flowing out of the many things that God has given to me, or God keeps giving to me, and it's not, they are not in any way distorted. So yeah, for me, I think that that's what I would say to that.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. So our spiritual life is as important as every other aspect of your life, and it is more like a foundation. So we are going to go one more round of question to everyone, to every panelist, and we please want to encourage us to help us with the time management. I would come back to Dr. Toluwanimi. Um, this time, you'll be speaking to us from your area of expertise, knowing that you work in the medical space, and with the different things that we have come to know so about the woman body and how that there is a lot going on in our body system. It is also important that we pay attention to our health. I would my question would be, in this round, we'll be doing more like two in one question. My question would be, what are the health practices that you recommend intentional women to live by? Hi, Dr. Toluwanimi. Can you hear me? Okay, looks like okay. I would move on to another person. So back to you, Oyinlola. In sharing your experience, and you mentioned that one of the reasons why you realize that we have to make money is to also make impact. My next question will now be, we would like you to share this. Let me put it this way. So in building this financial aspects, we have come to realize that women often face some societal challenges and cultural norms. You hear a lot of things around women making money. People who are making money have they are people have this kind of opinion about them, and we know that to be able to overcome all of these biases and opinion, we need to do something. So how, for the women on this call, what would be your word of encouragement, or how would you advise us to go on without paying a listening ear? Like, how do we overcome all of these cultural norms, societal biases about women who are building financial independence? Did you get my question?
I Tolu, were you I Tola rather, sorry, I really Tola. But were you referring to me because my network just went bad suddenly, and it's probably the same thing that happened to
Oh,
Doctor.
okay.
Yeah.
To Dr. Tolu. Okay.
So please, can you take the question again? My probably
Okay.
using I'm probably using
Yes,
Fiber
I
One
will.
because I think Fiber One just went off totally. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I was explaining how women often face societal and cultural barriers, norms, biases when it comes to building financial independence. So, how can women overcome all of these biases? All of this, a woman should not make so much money. A woman that has so much money will not be able to this, will not be able to that. What are the actionable steps that women can take to navigate around this barrier, to stay motivated and to stay focused on achieving their financial goals?
All right. So first things first, what I would say is, what does God say about money? Where at what, like, and I'm going to start from the spiritual angle, and that's because it is every single thing. I think I'm even going to feed off what Della said. There's a single source which is from God. What does God say about money? At what point in time did God mention that, money is for men? Like, there's absolutely no part. And I'm going to even take my role model from this Proverb 31 woman. Unfortunately, we don't know her name, but the Bible recorded that this woman had money. Like, she had money, and it was not just her husband's money. We saw all the different steps she took. She rose up early. She had for lack of better word, she had a fashion industry because I mean, she said she rose up early, had the yarns and all of that. Like, if this is Old Testament, right? And she had money. I'm even going to I'm trying to remember the name of this queen that came to visit King Solomon. This woman had money. There was no part in the Bible that said she came to visit King Solomon with her husband's riches. She came with her riches. I can't remember her name, and I don't even know what I used her name for.
Queen
Yes, Queen
Sheba.
Sheba, thank you so much. She
You're
came with
Queen
her
of
riches.
Sheba.
Yeah, she came with riches. She even gifted Solomon. Solomon that was absolutely wealthy. That's to tell you that, see, money doesn't know gender. There's no, if I know the society has made it look like because men are the provider, like in quotes, men should be the provider and then the female should be the helpmate. But then even the fact that a woman should be the helpmate based on, okay, the way God created, or men providing, women being helpmates. Being an helpmate also presupposes that you should actually have money. Because if you are saying you are a helpmate and the only thing you can do is to wash plates, how is that helping? Anybody can wash plates. 4-year-olds can wash plates. Anybody can wash plates. So just know first of all that money knows no gender. Secondly, there's this confidence that having money gives you. The same way you would feel confident if you have knowledge or you went for an exam and you had the necessary knowledge or you read your book or you knew the answers. Now you were sure that okay you prepared for the exam. It's the same way you would feel when you have money and issues coming or people want to move mad. Let me just put that in quote. Money gives you confidence, and that confidence is something that nobody can take away from you. Now, I'm not saying that you should build your confidence around having money, but but there's a certain confidence that comes with knowing that you can afford what you need. You can actually afford to help people, right? That's if there's no other form of confidence in the world. I think that's something great to have. And then also, what I would say is, I think I already said it earlier. Money isn't the end; is a means to an end. What are the things that money would help you do as an individual? Think about that. Focus on that. And then there's also the part that okay, some women feel like, well, once my husband have money or once people in my family have money, what again am I looking for? Please, let's just kill that kind of mindset. It's very limiting. It's not helpful. It doesn't help you in the long run, right? And then so I'll just wrap it up by saying that whatever societal barriers have you have come to know over time, just unlearn it. Like barriers like, oh, a woman shouldn't have her own house. A woman shouldn't have land. No, I know people that even from our grandparents generation that's even challenged that no, right? Me, for instance, I started living alone, I think from around 20. And if I could break that barrier and impact myself in that regard right from like 20 years old, then I think it's something that anybody can achieve. Yes, those societal barriers that say you cannot make money, kill it. And those societal barriers can also come, sorry, I'm wrapping up, right? Those barriers can also come in the
Yeah, I
workplace.
understand.
Know your worth, right? Know your worth. So don't, if they undervalue you at the workplace, you should be the one to fight for yourself, first of all, by saying that I know my worth. There are organizations that, well, I know that with the whole work of feminism, International Women's Day, we've been trying to challenge that situation. But there's also that part of you knowing your worth and valuing yourself appropriately, right? And this would also help you to know that making money, building up yourself financially is not a gender game. It's something that everybody should aspire to have, especially female, because you would at the end of the day be at the receiving end if you do not have your money. Thank you.
Mm. Yeah, thank you so much. So, money is not gender based. I would move to Della now, and my question for Della would be: what message would you give to women that are striving to design their life to reflect their purpose and their aspirations?
All right. All right, thank you
Yes, I
very much.
can. I
So,
can.
first of all, I feel like, and I love the questions that the first question that you asked when you were talking about, every panelist on the session rather talking about, um, what they think it means to live by design. So, I mean, first of all, you need to know that living by design means that you're living by purpose, right? You're living by literally how God has designed it to be, or what God has designed your life to look like. And it doesn't mean that we won't make mistakes. It doesn't mean that we will not miss our way at some point. But the most important thing is that you know the very first thing that God has said concerning you, which is your purpose, what He has sent you to do, and all of that, right? So, I mean, in aligning your living by design with every single thing that God has called you into, or your aspirations and all of that, is first remembering what God has said about you. See, the truth is that with every single thing happening today in the world, you have to constantly remind yourself of who you are. You have to constantly remind yourself of who God has called you to be. You have to constantly remind yourself of what you carry, what's on your inside. And that's because you're going to have challenges on the way. You're going to feel like you're not enough. You're going to have doubts about yourself. But the most important thing, or the first important thing, is that you always remember, see, put it somewhere in your house, frame it, put a picture, right? Where you're just reminding yourself of who you are, who God has, or what God has called you, or what God has said about you. For a very long time in my life, I mean, that's what kept me going. That's what kept me saying, no, then about doing this, right? It's going to come to pass, whatever God has said. Because I've seen a track record of God saying, I'm going to do XYZ in your life, or I'm going to make you XYZ, and I actually see it come to pass. But you know, on the long run, there's also a bigger picture. We're not where we want to be, or but we're on the way. We are all not where we want to be, but we're on the way. So the most important thing is that you're reminding yourself of what God has said concerning you, who God has called you, and then you're looking at how can I begin to take action to become that person. So on your journey to be that person, you have to first identify what do I need to do to become the woman or the man that God has called me to be, right? What do I need to do to align myself to the purpose that God has set for me? So I always say purpose might look like it's the end goal, but there are a lot of assignments on the way that is like a vehicle to that road. So your purpose is a destination, but your the assignment or the things that God has called you to do is just a vehicle. So don't sit on that one thing you are doing and say, this is what God has told me to do. So this is my purpose. No. If God has told you to do something, it's different from who God wants you to be, or an aim that God wants you to achieve. So there are two different things. There's purpose and then the assignment. So your assignment is, what am I going to do? What are the actions I'm going to take to lead me to become that person that God has called me to be? And you have to be able to identify. That's where you sit down and you have a board meeting with yourself and say, Della, this is what God has said. Oh, God has said you're going to take over nations. God has said you're going to give children freedom, right? You're going to give them quality education at the end of the day too, for a bigger picture, right? So what are the assignments or the things I need to do for me to become that person that God has called me to be? And that's what brought about Sion Academy, my preschool for children, has brought about me putting my heads into policy, has brought about putting myself into starting a business to help shape the lifestyle of people. That has brought me to creating a coaching platform to build transformation for young people. So all of these things gathered together is what at the end of the day is going to help me to achieve the big goal, right? Which is helping people become better and do better. At the very core of everything I do is transformation. At the very core of what I do is helping people move from point A to point Z. And I recognize that. So whether it's in my social impact, whether it's in my business, whether it's in my coaching, whether it's in whatever thing I'm doing, I'm leaving people transformed. That's the spirituality in ministry. And that route of saying, this is who.
Oh, okay.
That you can do, or that you want to, or that God wants you to. There are many ways by which you can get there. And as individuals who want to live by design, we must recognize that and not just live by all those things we want to do, but be very core of who God has called us to become.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Know who you are and have a constant reminder of who you are. So we have about just 3 minutes to the end of this panel session, and we want to throw it out to everyone on this call. So for all of our panelists, we want you to just say 1 to 2 sentences to women who are desiring to live by design. It could just be something, a very random advice, in line with your sphere of career or whatever it is. So I think we would go this route. We would have Taiwo Jackson, we would have Della, and then we have Oyinlola and Dumomi.
All right, thank you very much. One thing I wanted to say earlier about living by design is that there is a designer, right? And I know that a lot of things have been said about relying on God and the likes, and I'm just going to reiterate that fact. I know it feels like you are rehashing it and rehashing it, but then as believers, right, we cannot do anything outside God. And we should not even think of doing anything outside God. If you want to live by design, I think you should check the blueprints of the designer, because that's what will put you on the right track. Because in this world, it's easy for you to be carried away by so many distractions, and distractions here don't necessarily have to be bad things, right? So distractions can be great stuff. So you can start doing something, and all of a sudden God is nudging you to move away, but then because it's good and you're seeing a lot of results, right, you just keep at it and keep at it and continue like it's the next best thing after sliced bread. Yes, it may be, but in the design of God, it's not. So it's just to really continue your relationship with the designer and just know what
Mm,
he's being discerning to know what he's saying to you per time. So if he asks you to stop, stop. If he asks you to rest, rest. If he asks you to pick up something, please pick it up and obey immediately and exactly. So there are things that the Lord would ask you to do, and I don't know why I'm saying this, but there are things that the Lord would ask you to do, and you would want to dilly dally or you want to negotiate your way out of it. It will not pay you in the long run. It will
thank
not pay you at the end of the day. So live with design, but be very aware of the designer. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Live with the design and be very aware of the designer. Okay. So, Idela, please, in
All
just one
right.
sentence. Thank
So
you.
I'm just going to say that we should have more meetings with ourselves, right? Let's be very honest with ourselves. Be very self-aware. Recognize that. See, if you are going to do anything in this life, you're going to have to talk to yourself, reminding yourself, hyping yourself. Your first voice, the first voice you hear, should be your own voice. Before anybody tells me anything, I've already told myself, before you tell me I'm beautiful, there was a time that if anybody gives me a compliment, I'll say I know. Right? I'm just learning to take in compliments. But the first voice that you hear, or the first voice that reckons or echoes to you should be your voice.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. The first voice you should hear should be your own voice to yourself and be self aware. So, over to you, Oyinlola. Please, in one
All right, I think I already
sentence.
wrote it down, so I'll just read it out, right? So the first thing I wrote here when I was planning for the session was to
Yeah.
tell people that one, invest in yourself. The first best thing to ever invest in is will always be yourself. Two, not leave your growth to chance. Be very, very intentional about it, like very intentional. Three, be focused on yourself, like focus on yourself. Do not give room to comparisons, especially on LD one. And then finally, be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself because there's a whole lot
Mm,
that you could achieve if you are kind to yourself. You will know when, how to create boundaries. You know when you are being good to yourself. You know when, there should be balance. So yes, that's it for me.
all right. Thank you. And wrap up with Do Mommy in one sentence,
Okay, in
please.
one sentence, I will say that we should
Yeah.
stop waiting for perfect clarity before we take actions, that we should take more spirit led, even though it is messy action. The truth is, clarity often comes while moving, not while we are still. So, yes, please let's move and stop waiting for perfect clarity.
Mm. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Please, wherever it is that you are, I think you should give this woman a round of applause. These women, rather, they have done so much, so much. A lot of Rema, left, right, and center. And I'm definitely going back to my books. As a matter of fact, I have this on record and I'm going to listen to them over and over again. Thank you so much, women, for joining us. Thank you, Taiwo Jackson. Thank you, Lola Lawal. Thank you, Abayomi Adiel. I see Taiwo posing for a picture. Love it. Thank you, Dumomi. And thank you, Dr. Toluwanimi. We are so grateful to have you on this call, and we look forward to connecting with you on all social media platforms. So, guys, do well to connect with them, read from them. These women are a wealth of knowledge. So, moving on, thank you, our speakers, for joining us. So, be moving on to the next agenda, and this is a very wonderful session. I mean, when I started, I told you that every minute spent here is very important. So this minute is as important as the next minute. So our next session is as power packed as the previous session. And so at this point, I would want to call on Deborah Olubade as she introduces us to the keynote speaker for this conference. And yes, please let's keep the comments coming. Let's keep them coming. Tweets, hashtag the intentional woman conference. Tweet about it. Tell people to join us. I mean, we still have great time to spend here together, and it will be important that they don't miss out on any of the sessions. So send out the link, share with people, let them know that something big is happening virtually and they can join in. For those of us who joined late, we had done some introductions. So we want you to introduce yourself also in the chat box. Tell us your name and your generation. Let's know if you are Gen Z or if you are Gen Q or if you are Gen M. Introduce yourself. Let us know where you are joining us from. So, for example, my name is Gen Z Olutola. I'm joining in from Lagos. Gen Z Aike, I'm joining from Canada. Let's have you in the chat box while we wait on the next. Okay. So if you are tweeting, please tweet at, you can tag us at and intentions, and don't forget to use the hashtag. Tweet comment from the program, and also you can look out for us and retweet the flyer and as well as the link. Let's have people join us. So just to add to the introduction, as well, you can also let us know what you do. Like I said when we started the call, your next customer might be here, your next business partner might be here, your next employer can just be watching. And there can even be an anon somewhere who might want to send you a gift or something. So don't shy away from the introduction. It's important that you do that.
Hi everyone. Please confirm that you can hear me, Tola.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Oh, thank you. That was such a powerful panel session. Thank you to all our speakers. Thank you to Luanimi. Thank you, Della. Thank you, Ingola. And thank you, Taiwo and Dumomi. Thank you for accepting our invitation. I learned a lot. So now I will be introducing our keynote speaker in person of Orifun Kelawal, and I'm going to read her bio. Sorry, give me a moment. I'm going to be reading her bio shortly. Orifun Kelawal is dedicated to capacity building, leadership and good governance, social impact and sustainable development, and women advocacy. She has a lifelong passion for enriching lives through education and has established herself as a visionary leader and pioneer in creating structured learning opportunities across various platforms. She is currently the technical advisor to the managing director of the Lagos Water Corporation, and her role revolves around strategic advisory, executive support, project management, reporting, and stakeholder engagement. She believes that being in government is one of the ways to make large scale change to better the lives of people and gives her time and resources to multiple projects in this space. She founded the Lady Revolves, Winning Ladies Circle in 2018, a non governmental organization dedicated to empowering women in Nigeria. You can see why she's our keynote speaker. Serving as the executive director, she leads a dynamic team, orchestrating impactful campaigns and operations that propel the organization forward. Under her guidance, Lady Revolves has into a thriving community of over 300 members, of which I am privileged to be a part of, and I've been blessed from being there. A seasoned speaker and educator, Orunfuke has facilitated numerous sessions across various fields. Her skill set spans leadership, development, gender equality, media and corporate communications, personal branding, and professional development, to mention a few. A solid woman I stand. She also has cumulative experience across diverse sectors, including fashion, e commerce, financial, legal tech, education, and the public sector. In 2022, she got accepted into the Latif Jakonde Leadership Academy, a 1 year non-partisan program by the Lagos State Governor, which she also served as a special assistant to the governor, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu. Orifika Lawal is a graduate of the Obafemi Awolowo University and holds a certificate in public leadership and policy from the School of Politics, Policy and Governance. Um, while we While we wait on her to join us, I want to believe it's a network issue. Please, as Tola has said, you can go ahead to live tweet, share what you've learned on Instagram. Let's hear from you. Let's learn from you. You can even share in the chat. Let's have what you've learned. And another person can learn from what you share with us. Hi, OL. Welcome, welcome. It's good to have you
Hi,
here.
hi. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So you can have the floor now.
Okay. 1 second. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. I don't know. I can't see message. Am I supposed to be seeing messages?
No, you can't.
Oh, okay, no problem. That works. Well, I hope everybody can hear me. So if you can't hear me, please let me know because I don't know how my network is doing today. So,
We can hear
all
you.
right,
I will keep
thank
it up.
you. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. It's such a pleasure, always a pleasure to be able to speak and impart knowledge. And I want to say a big thank you to Deborah Olugbade, the convener of the Intentional Women's Conference. Thank you for the amazing work that you're doing, ensuring that people um, build more intentional lives. I wanted to say more intentional relationships, but I now remember that that one is per conference. So everything is like so I'm just super proud and I hope we'll have the peer conference this year. But yeah,
Oh, please don't set me up for line.
I'm so happy to be here to everyone who's been on the planning team because I know that nothing this significant happens without a planning team. Thank you. I celebrate you. Well done. God bless you greatly, greatly. And to all the panelists who have shared before. Sorry, I think there was a panel session before my session. Uh, thank you very much. Sorry, 1 second though. Oh, okay. I saw a pop up, so I was wondering if somebody wanted to share something. Now, today I'm going to be speaking about how to build a life by design. How to build a life by design, and it's just so interesting. I think this is the first time I'm having to speak about this topic or any topic very very similar, and so it's really important building a life by design because not many people even know that you can build a life by design. Okay, yes, I'm seeing the messages. Oh, thank you. Hey, I'm seeing messages now. Thank you, thank you. I can see Aike, I can see Awibola, I can see Adebola, I can see Eboluwa. Thank you. I like seeing Alice's comment, so I know that I'm not speaking to an empty screen. Anyway, living by design is often not talked about, but if you want to live a life, or let me say, maintain a life that has consistent results, it is never done accidentally. So, the premise of a life that is lived by design is a life that is lived intentionally. It is a life that is lived with intention. I will say that again. The premise of a life that is lived by design is a life that is lived with intention. Because if you are going to sustain results, if you are going to sustain consistency, you cannot do it haphazardly. There has to be a level of intentionality. There has to be a level of this is where I'm going and this is what I am going to do. And why is this so important? Because there is no instance. I'm a Christian. For those who might not be Christians, I'm a Christian. And there is no instance in the Bible where God created anybody or raised anybody without an intention. There was always an intention. Adam wasn't just created because God just wanted somebody to be a caretaker for the Garden of Eden. God was, need caretaker. No, God wasn't looking for a caretaker when he created Adam. When Eve was created, there was an intention. Look at everybody, Deborah, David, everybody that God created and everybody that God raised. There was a reason, there was an intention. Because one of the biggest things you must learn from God is, number one, God does not do things just because, right? There's always a reason. There's always an intention behind whatever he does. And because of that,
He does not waste resources. So when he calls a person, it is because there is a reason he has called him. There's something, there's a gap that the person has to fill. Are you guys following? Yes. So that is the premise on which you build a life, or you live a life by design. It is living a life that is extremely intentional. And it is very easy to say, actually. It is very easy to say you have to live a life by design. It is easier said than done, because I can tell you that it is extremely easy to just live your life. Just sleep, wake up, go to work, sleep, wake up, go to work, sleep. It's very, very easy to just follow the flow. It's easy. And that's why you have some guys, they'll be like, oh, no, we don't want, I don't want a label. Let's just go with the flow. Now, whenever a guy tells you, let's just go with the flow, we don't want any labels, you already know that that's not just a red flag. Flag is small. It's a red banner, a red billboard. Do you understand? Because you'll be like, is my life not that important to me that you will come and meet me and say, let's just go with the flow? Lying schedule when I'm not a snake. Let's just. So whenever somebody tells you that, you know why you say no. I can't do this, right? It's because you know that even in the aspect of relationship, there has to be a design that you follow. So if you can think about that for relationships, it means that what? It means that your every aspect of your life, the church you attend, at least Muslims don't have to attend mosques, but the church you attend, the kind of courses that you take, the kinds of jobs that you have, the kinds of friendships and relationships, the kinds of things you even apply for, everything has to come from a mindset of intentionality, a mindset of vision, a mindset of this is where I'm going and this is how I will get there. And so before we go into what it really means to build a life by design, let's first of all consider what it means to live a life without a design. Because sometimes if you do not know what something is not, you may not know what it is. I hope you guys are with me. Sometimes if you don't know what something is not, you may not know what it is. So what exactly does a life without design mean? And the first thing I want to mention is a life without design is a life without a sense of direction. A life without design is a life without a sense of direction. Now, take this, right? Somebody comes to your house and then they tell you, Deborah, I'm going to use Deborah's. Deborah, let's just go. The first thing Deborah will say, go to where? And they're like, no, let's just go. I don't know, but let's just go. You'll be like, go out. Don't worry, don't question me. Just carry your load and go. Are you not going to look at it and be like, problem, Tiwa, you will not go. There's no way you will go, right? Because the person has no sense of direction. They do not even know where they are going to. The only person you are permitted to follow without having a destination in mind is God. Because you know that God himself is the destination. So if God says, follow me, I will take you somewhere, you know, but no matter where God takes me to, I will still fall into God. But when a human being comes and says, just follow me and let's go, you'll be like, this person wants to kidnap me, right? And so a person without a sense of direction is a person that doesn't have a sense of a life of design. You always need to have an idea. It might not be concrete, it might not be solid, it might not be strong, but at least you have an idea of where you are going, you really, really, really need it. It will save you a lot of problems. Falling into the wrong relationships, falling into the, do you understand? Just imagine the terrible things. Having a sense of direction, okay, this is where I am going, will save you a lot of problems. Are we following? I want to be sure that people are actually with me.
Yes, we are.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you so much. Now, second thing I want to mention about a life of design is that a life without design, or a life that is not lived with design in mind, is one that doesn't understand personal boundaries. Okay? It's one that doesn't understand personal boundaries. And I know a lot of times we talk about, oh, um, this is, you can do all things, you can do everything, and that's true, you actually can do everything, but we're like, you can do this, you can do whatever you set your heart to do, you can do it. But I can tell you that for everybody who can do something significant, there has to be an understanding of the kind of boundaries, the kind of limits that you have placed on yourself. Not limits as in limitations, but limits as in, as far as this is who I am, there are certain things I will never do. And it is very good for you to have an understanding of these personal boundaries, which are powered by your values early on, before you get into areas where you can where you can fall literally. Are we together? I'm going to say that again. A life without design is one without an understanding of personal boundaries, powered by values, your value system. You have boundaries. You should, anybody who doesn't have boundaries, you know what Bible says about people who don't have boundaries? They are like a city with broken walls. So there are certain things, even when you grow in God, there are certain things that God will tell you, apart from the general things that are, they are sins, don't do this, don't do that, But you realize that there are certain things that you as a person cannot do. There are places I cannot go. There are places I cannot speak. There are people I can't be friends with because of what? Personal boundaries. Without personal boundaries, you cannot live a life of design. Okay, now, number three, a person without a sense of design is one whose purpose and essence are shaped by what they see from other people only. Yes. And this is very closely related to comparison. But there are a lot of people today whose dreams, goals, visions are not exactly what they want or what their purpose is or where they are going to, but what they see other people do. And when you live such a life like that, what happens is that you will not, you'll be very, very haphazard. You'll be doing anything and everything because you run a business and you see somebody with 50,000 followers on Twitter, sorry, on Instagram, and they wear a kind of gown and they dance. Tomorrow they dance. Next tomorrow they dance. And you're like, for this person to be dancing every day, oh my one day, the girls be money there. So you decide, you know what, we are going to dance, and you start to dance. Now, when the person changes their strategy tomorrow, and they decide that they want to start to record certain kinds of videos, you'll be like, okay, this is where the way is. We are no longer dancing. Oh yeah, thank you for this update. You switch. And so you do not have a sense of stability because your purpose, your essence, the things that you do, the things that appeal to you are gotten from other people. And one question I usually like to ask is that, are your goals really your goals? Are your dreams really your dreams? Are your aspirations really your aspirations? Do you really want to go to Bali for your honeymoon? Or because you saw somebody you admire going there for your honeymoon? Do you really want to buy from that very expensive vendor that you cannot afford for now? Or because, the people who are the big wigs in the industry are wearing from that person? So, are your goals really your goals? Are your aspirations really your aspirations? In fact, is your anger really your anger? Are you really angry because you are angry, or because it is acquired anger? Somebody is angry, or people are angry, and then you just acquire that anger from other people. Is your ideology, or are your ideologies about things really your ideologies, or are they borrowed ideologies? So a person who lives without design is somebody whose purpose, whose essence is stolen from other people, stolen from A, stolen from B, and you find out that at the end of the day, you are not yourself. You don't even know who you are, because different aspects of yourself, your journey, the career line you've taken, they were gotten from other people. Are we together? Okay, so another thing we can use to identify somebody who doesn't have a life of design is somebody who is perpetually distracted. Distraction, a lack of focus. You want to do, have you ever worked with a boss who wants to do everything when you have not done anything? It is frustrating. If you have ever worked with a boss that will just wake up and say, I saw something online, no, let's do it. You'll be like, okay. Then the next time they'll come and be like, let's do this. You'll be like, God, the one that you saw yesterday, we've not even done it. You want to do another one. Okay, so not having a sense of focus, not being focused, perpetual distraction. You're always distracted, always distracted. And that is one of the signs of a life without design. Now, a life without, I feel like I should have even said this one first. A life without an overarching vision. Now, not everybody will understand their vision or their purpose right away, and that's okay. That's really okay. Not everybody will. However, at different stages of your life, there must be a commitment on your own side to realizing that there has to be something about me that I have been whether called or anointed or designed to do. The way I am, there are things that God has designed for me to do. So you have to pay attention. When you were growing up, some of you were good with the art, you were good with artwork. I started writing at a very early stage in my life. And so I knew early that, okay, no matter what I would do in life, writing and speaking will be part of it. There has to be an overarching understanding of your vision. Or you can call it purpose, because if you run a business, you run whatever, an initiative, you know that the first thing you need to get in place is your vision. When you get into organizations, you see vision, mission. It's not vision, mission because we just want to have a plaque that looks nice. It's just cool. No, it is because if you do not have that vision and mission, nothing you do there will count. You will just be doing anything and it will not count. The vision that you have is, how do I put it? It's the ultimate measurement of what you do. So anything you do that doesn't align with that vision is useless. So it means that if you do not have an overarching vision for your life, if you are taking a course, I don't want to be so absolute, so it doesn't look like Ankylode, but if you're taking a course, it's almost Not completely, because God can change any situation, but it's almost useless. You There has to be an overarching vision for your life. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. Now, a life without design is a life that lives on autopilot. Ah, and this one I mentioned it earlier, that this is the easiest thing to do in this world. Just you'll be waking up every day, no, that no, not this is not even direction. This is you and interestingly, a life that is on autopilot is not necessarily a life that is not working. It is not necessarily a life that is not even productive. Because one of the things you realize that sometimes productivity is not in tandem with vision. So you can be productive at the wrong things. You can be productive at things that do not align with your own vision or your own purpose. You can be productive. So many times when we look at a life that is on autopilot, we feel like, oh, it means the person is lazing around, the person is like a bicycle. No, sometimes the person is actually active, the person is actually productive. But guess what? They do not have a sense of coordination and reflection to be able to know where they are coming from, where they have gotten to, and where they are going to. That's what autopilot. Okay, Lord, that's it. It's just going. So when you wake up every day and then you brush your teeth, you have your bath, you go to work, you do your work, and then when you're done, you come back home, the same routine tomorrow, without really stepping back and saying, is this really, really connecting to my life's purpose? Is this really who I want to be? And is it really making sense with who I have been called to be? There's a problem because you are living on autopilot. And because you are being productive, it's very hard for you to say, there's a problem. Because actually, you're being productive, you're doing stuff that other people are not doing. Are you not? A life on autopilot is a life without design. And so you realize that from this one, a life without design is not a life where nothing is being done. It is a life where things are being done, but without purpose. Are we together? I want to be sure my network hasn't tripped up.
Yes, we are. Go ahead.
And finally, a life without design is a life that is lived without the brakes being pressed. Very similar to what I shared earlier, right? A life without design is a life which is lived without the brakes being pressed, where you don't even take the time to settle down and ask yourself really crucial questions. Why exactly am I here? Like, why? Okay, I've been at this job for 5 years or for 7 years. Why exactly am I still here? Why am I taking this job? What did I do this week? What did I do last year? You are about stepping into the new year. You don't just, that thing people say about the new year is just a new day, it's nothing special. Please don't follow them. Oh. Don't follow them. Oh. Do you understand? Because one thing that beginnings can do for you is they can offer calibration, a much needed calibration. They can have you rein in the brakes so you can stop and say, Kitty last year. That must not repeat itself today. Because the problem is, people are not, they don't have brake. And you know what happens when cars don't have brake? They just they're just eating everything. So sometimes people are running into obstacles, are facing tumultuous situations, problems left, right, center, because they're not stopping. At least stop and pause and say, why did this happen? So you are facing challenges at work, your relationship, everywhere, your finance, and you're not taking the time to say, you know what? Let me stop first. A life without breaks. So now that we know what a life without um a life without design, or a life that is being lived without design, is what exactly we will call a life that is lived by design. I want to be sure that people are with me and people are following. I want to be sure.
Following powerfully.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, now, so I'm trying to I'm trying to ensure that I do not, um, I do not share cliche stuff. Like you have already heard things like you need to know your purpose, you need to know your all of those things. You already know those things, don't you? But I want to share something that helped me sometime. Um, should I say, like, something that has helped me really, right? Something that has really helped me. And so one thing that has helped me is that I sort of have different areas of my life written out. In fact, I have a journal for it. I have a journal where I have different areas of my life written out. And what I do is that I write my goals for each of the areas and prevailing paradigms and targets. No, actually, prevailing paradigms, targets, and what it would look like if I start to live like that. Okay, so let me just break it down so that it's clear. For instance, let's say I'm taking 5 aspects of my life. I'm taking my marriage, taking my spiritual life, taking my health, taking my relationships with people, and taking my career. Check if it career, I'll be finances. Let me say career, okay? Let me say career. So now, under each of these, I have a journal where I write number one, what are my goals for each of these? I wish I could show you the journal, but yeah, what are my goals for each of these areas? What are my goals for each of these areas? And more importantly, why do they matter to me? For instance, why does my marriage matter to me enough to be able to invest time and energy and resources and whatever it is there? Why does my spiritual relationship with God matter so much? Why does my career matter very much? Why do my relationships with people matter that much? I can't remember the one. Why does my health matter that much? Right? So I'm not right. I'm not doing goals. And one major challenge, one major problem is that a lot of times people are setting goals without prevailing paradigms. You don't anchor a goal in space. Goals have to be anchored on something greater than the goals. Something bigger than the goals has to be the one that will be holding the goals. Because if I say that I want to save, I want to save 200K a day, right? There has to be a reason I want to save 200K a day. Because if that reason does not exist and is not solidified in my heart, I will not be out when I save for 3 days. No, let me say 5 days. That's 1 million. Multi millionaire. I will just lock it up and continue my life. I've taught a millionaire, right? So one challenge is a lot of times people are entering into a new year, a new month, or a new season of their lives, and they are not anchoring it or anything. It's not about setting goals. No, anybody can set goal. Is it not goal? Goal. I want to be like Obama in the next 3 months. It's a goal. Hey, do you understand? But goals really have to be anchored on something that is bigger than the goal. So, okay, so if I say my health, I want to pay more attention to my health. What are the goals? Of course, goals are supposed to be smart, specific, measurable, I won't just say, I just want to lose 10 kg. No, 10, I don't want to lose 10 kg. If I lose with 15 or 20, right? Because I want to go back to sweets size 6, right? But that's just an aside. But I won't just say, I just want to lose weight. Why exactly? Why exactly does losing weight matter to me? Why exactly does is it important for me to lose weight? How much weight do I want to lose? And what are the things that have to be broken down, which I'll come back to shortly. But basically what I'm saying is that I have this chart where I'm like, okay, these are the most important parts of my life. For A, this is where these are the goals I want to fight with for A. And these are the prevailing paradigms. Why exactly is it important? I'm trying to break down what a prevailing paradigm is. So what I call a prevailing paradigm for, let's say, my health is that I realize that I may have a destiny and I may have a vision, but if I'm not in good health, I will not be able to fulfill the vision that God has for me. If I'm not in good health, I will be a burden to my loved ones, to my husband, to my siblings, to my parents, who now have to be burdened with taking care of me, praying for me repeatedly because they want me to be whole. If I am not in good health, I'm going to lose out on opportunities that God already has marked for me because I can't. There are jobs. If you walk in sick to a job, no matter how good your CV is, they're not going to take you. A prevailing paradigm for me also looks like, okay, I need to be alive because I know that there are destinies that God has attached to me. And if I am not alive or if I am not ill and hearty, a lot of people will go missing, will make mistakes that they should not make because I wasn't there. So you can see that my need to be healthy goes beyond just my need to be healthy or to just look good. It is anchored in something really, really bigger. So if I am struggling to eat healthy, I'm just going to remember that, if I'm not sick, I won't be able to do what God has for me. There's work, destiny is calling. I need to be ill and hearty to be able to do the things that life will have me do. Are we together? Same thing with your marriage. My prevailing paradigms for marriage is, okay, I need to improve in quality time and in the quality of my marriage, because I don't want to spend 20 something years raising children for them to leave and only to realize that I didn't even have any proper connection with my husband in the first place. Prevailing paradigms. A prevailing paradigm is also that, okay, thank you, Deborah. A prevailing paradigm is also, for my marriage, is also realizing that if my marriage is not stable, if my marriage is not good, if my marriage is faulty, I will not be able to function at anything else. If anybody who has been in a relationship, have you fought with your spouse before? I don't know, but unless your heart is stony, maybe stony God, that's when you'll be able to function. You won't be able to function very well. Anybody that can have a strong fight with their partner and they can still function is one or two things. I fear you, or I respect you. No, you are that compartmentalization. Oh, crazy girl, I respect you, or I fear you. Do you understand? So now I have prevailing paradigms for each of the goals that I want to set, for each of these life pillars. Yes, let me call it life pillars, because if I do not have all of these things, I will easily fall off. Now, it doesn't mean you won't fall off, but at least you have a redirection. You can always come back and say, oh, okay, this is exactly why this matters. It's going to be the difference between you starting something and closing it up when you face the slightest experience of adversity or opposition. You'll be like, I can't deal with it. I beg, let's just close it. You need to first of all outline your different, let me call them your life pillars. These are the different areas of your life that are most important to you, and you now start to break it down. I wish I'd done a chart. Maybe I'll get that done and then send it when it's ready to Deborah. But you have your different life charts. Under your different life charts, you have your prevailing paradigms. Why does it matter for me for this to be 100%? Why does it matter for this to be 80%? Why does it matter for this to be excellent? Why does it matter for this to be stable? Then under all of those, you have your goals. Okay, I'm going to do this by this, I'm going to do this by this, I'm going to do this by this. You have your goals and your targets. So by Q2 20 something, I should have at least done this or made progress with regard to this. By Q something something, I should have done this, made progress with regard to this. By Q, I should have done this, do you understand? And then there's something that I learned from my mentor. And I don't know if I have shared this publicly before, but it has proved very, very helpful to me. And I think it will prove helpful to you. And I learned it from Debola Dejikuromi, and it is envisioning consequences. I don't know. Maybe there are people who don't envision consequences. Maybe consequences, they fear you. I respect you. But for me, consequences are much more effective for me than rewards. So these people that say, oh, they reward themselves with ice cream, they reward themselves with shawarma. I don't know. That doesn't work for me. Do you understand? It works for people. So you need to know what works for you. Where you're like, okay, if I read a book, after I've read the book, I'll buy ice cream for myself. But you see consequences. And you need to envision consequences, because a lot of times we are living life without thinking about the consequences of the actions. See, envision consequences. By the time you envision consequence of unhealthy living, could be you dying. You will sit up. By the time you envision the consequence of not investing in your relationships, could mean that in the next 20 years, you have nobody to call your own. There's a problem. You sit up. Being able to envision, okay, it's saying the way I am like this, the way you are living your life. Imagine you continue to live your life the way you are living your life. Where will you be in the next 5 years? Where will you be in the next 10 years? Just be very radically honest with yourself. If I live my life like the way, just imagine that the way you're living your life is how you're living your life over the next 20 years. What will your life turn out to be in 20 years? It is scary, at least for me. And I hope it is scary for you too. Are we following, please? Everybody here? Is everybody here?
Yes.
Okay, Esther says it works for her. Yeah, well, I'm guessing you're talking about rewards. Amazing. Rewards don't really work for me. Consequences. For instance, if I have something to lose, that one will ginger me more. But that also brings me to the next level, or the next thing I want to share: self-awareness. I'm always talking about self-awareness. I feel like I'm already a broken record. But you need to know yourself. Like, you need to know. You need to know yourself. If you have never taken any personality test or whatever, please go and take personality test. Do you know that because of the kind of personality that you have, there are things that you cannot do? I'm not talking about toxic positivity, where I'm saying that, just do it. No. There are things that you cannot do. No, okay, let me not say cannot do, but there are things that will not be comfortable for you because your personality does not exactly allow for that. I don't know if this is clear. So you need to know who you are. You need to know the kinds of things that really, really wake you up, even down to knowing, okay, this is the time of the day where I am most active, or knowing these are the conditions under which I am most effective, or these are the areas where I get the most inspiration for. These are the kinds of people that I typically like to speak with. There are people that I speak with that I always want to speak with because when I speak with them, even if I was feeling discouraged before, you see, after I speak with them, that discouragement is gone. So it means that if I feel down or I feel like something is wrong, I'm going to reach out to them. It's self-awareness. There are areas that I won't take up. Even though I like to teach, it is not every area you ask me to teach on that I will come and teach on. I'm very self-aware enough to know that at this area, if you give me, I'm going to flop. Self-awareness will also help you when it comes to relationships and marriage. It's just so crazy, right? It's how do I want to put it? This one in particular really blows my mind, right? It's crazy that today you have so many self-unaware people getting into marriages and marrying each other. Does it not concern you? Because it concerns me. A man who doesn't know anything, doesn't even know his temperament, he doesn't know whether he's, once they just ask, are you an introvert or an extrovert? He'll say, I'm an ambivert. Okay, all of us, ambivert ni bodoa. But being self-aware goes beyond knowing that you are an extrovert or an introvert or whatever, but it's also realizing that for the kind of person that you are and the specific wiring that you have, there are ways that you address situations. For instance, if you're not self-aware to know that, for instance, me, I'm self-aware, I know that naturally I'm a non-confrontational person. I don't like confrontation. So typically, if you offend me, what will make me actually reach out to you and tell you? It's one of two things. Is it I actually really, 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 really cherish your relationship with me? Or number two, God said I should. Typically, when people offend me, I'll brood over it and I'll just, you know what? I'll just get over it. Now, imagine, please, this 8 minutes more you are giving me, acts and intentions, is it for my teaching? Abi, is it inclusive of question and answer? Please, so, hey, I can wrap up,
Just
maybe by,
teaching. Just teaching. We still have the
okay,
Q&A.
okay, okay now, thank you very much. Anyway, where was I? Now, I know myself. Now, imagine not knowing myself enough and I go and marry a man who is not confrontational. Please, what will happen? You will not say you people are having malice in the house. Why would you have malice? You people do not know yourself. If you had known, normally I'm a non-confrontational person, let me marry someone that's confrontational. So at least if there's an issue, somebody can speak about it boldly. It's very important. Imagine that somebody, although that's a different case, but imagine that somebody bullies your child at school and both of you are non-confrontational. That's it. Now imagine that both of you are confrontational. You people will be fighting because everything will be an issue. And where did the problem come from? Self-awareness. You know that normally you don't like, there are people who genuinely don't like people. You don't like people, you don't like, you are an introvert. So you know, an introvert recharge by having their own time to themselves. You now want to take a job as a salesperson and you say you are frustrated. How? It will be frustrated. How? It's not. You can do better. You know, you can actually improve. But that line of job is really not your area. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Self-awareness. And how do you grow in self-awareness? Number one is that you need to always be asking yourself questions. Nobody should be able to observe you more than you can observe yourself. If somebody comes to tell me, Orifunke, you have this behavior, I should already know that I have that behavior. Not that I'll be like, hey, say no. I should know that I have that behavior because I should have noticed it in myself first. If people give me feedback about myself, I should be able to take it and say, oh, okay, they said they noticed this. Is this really true? Is it repeated? How exactly can I now improve on it? That's how you build self-awareness by reflection. You must observe yourself. Okay, these are the conditions where I work the most. These are the conditions where I am most productive. For instance, self-awareness is me knowing that envisioning consequences works better for me than envisioning rewards. If you are the kind of person where that consequences no they move you and they now look at it say if you don't eat very well you can die, you'll be like die. Who will not die before? You understand what I'm trying to say? But there are people that they'll be like, if you are able to get this thing, you will get $10,000. They will get it. Self-awareness, it would allow you know who you should be, what you should be doing, what you should not be doing. Are we together? Are we together? Please, I want to be sure. And so, one of the things I also like saying is that when it comes to living a life of design, you need to be able to take responsibility for things, responsibility for your life, responsibility for others. You cannot, there just comes a time in your life where you cannot blame people again for your life. Once you cross 20, and I'm going to give you I'm going to give you some allowance if you're younger than 20. Okay, let me say 25. That's just me, right? Because this thing they say about the frontal lobe fully develops at 25. So okay, let me give you 25. But once you cross 25, anything that happens to you is your responsibility. You can't blame anybody. I entered a bad marriage. It's your responsibility. I stayed in a clinical. It's your responsibility. You need to be able to take responsibility for yourself. You can't be blaming other people again. Blaming other people is so 90, 85-ish. You cannot. You must take responsibility for your life. And when you realize that you take, the responsibility that you take for your life determines how much you can do with your life. You will sit up with your life better. Because people can only do so much. Some of you are lucky to have really amazing, supportive friends, siblings, parents. But at the crux of it, they can't do more than you can do for yourself. You need to be able to take responsibility. You need to have agency and say, if I don't change my life, nobody will change my life. Even when God wants to help you, God will need your cooperation to help you. So if you are not cooperating with God, if you are not taking responsibility for who you can be in God, you will not be anything. Simple as A, B, and C. Living by design is also living consistently. And in my latest book, one of the things I shared was that many times people think consistency is doing something every day. But consistency can also be choosing to get up after you are falling every day. So okay, you said you were going to do something every day this week, and then today you fail, tomorrow you fail, the next day pick up from where you started from. Because sometimes your mind is stopping you from moving forward, because you have fallen into that cycle of guilt. You are like, I'm no longer consistent. I've lost it for no. You pick up from where you have stopped. When you see people who have been in business, or they've been building a vision for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, you can't tell me there weren't times where they experienced setbacks, or there weren't times when they struggled with something, or there weren't times where they failed. There were multiple. You know what a 20-year period is? But consistency is what? Sticking to the vision irrespective of setbacks. So, okay, I experienced setbacks, I have fallen, but there's still a vision. I will still be committed to the vision. That's what consistency is. I will keep doing it and doing it. Okay, I tried, one of these I'm trying to do is do content creation, video content creation more on Instagram. And that thing is very frustrating. If you know anybody who is a content creator, I'm talking about video. Call them today and celebrate them. It's hard. Oh, legon. Right? But I'll be like, you know what? I will try again. Tomorrow I may forget. But whenever I remember, because there's a vision, and my own commitment is to that vision. Whether I face setbacks or not. So we've talked about a number of things, and commitment, discipline, diligence, discipline, diligence, being intentional. Being intentional is really just asking, where am I going to, and how does everything I do every day commit to where I think I'm going to? So if everything I'm doing every day is not aligning with where I'm going to, then I'm not living an intentional life, because intentionality is backed by a greater sense of vision and direction. So I know where I'm going to, and now my relationships, my marriage, my everything I do, the kinds of projects I launch have to be with this in mind. And do you know that this can also help you with your friendships? And I'm wrapping up now. This can also help you with your friendships. Because when you know where you are going to, there are some kinds of friends that you will not even make. Not because you are judging them. It's not because you are judging them, but because you know that these people have no place in where you are going to. And there are some people that will not be your friends too. They will not come and meet you, even if you pitch to them and say, "Ah, come and please come and meet." Not because you are a bad person, but because you might not just align to the vision that they have of their lives overall or per that season. So living a life of design is living a life of intention, and intention is in the consistency. Every day I will choose. Every week I will choose. Every month, every year. I didn't achieve anything last year. Okay, it's okay. Can we get back up this year? That's what it means to live a life of design. Thank you very much. I'll take questions now. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, that was loaded. I must say, very loaded, and we have been blessed. I'm really sure people have been blessed. So I'm going to read a couple of questions that we have. I'll start with this first one that says, "How do you stay aligned to your personal vision in the midst of uncertainties?"
Okay, how do I stay aligned to my personal vision in the midst of uncertainties? It's number one, realizing that you will not always be certain. Like I think the problem is that a lot of times we expect that once I have a vision, then everything is going to align. No, uncertainty is part of the package. Accept it. If you don't feel uncertain, perhaps the vision is not big enough. So there are times when, even when you've heard a clear voice from God, you'll still be like, what's going on? Because you still face setbacks, you still face obstacles, you still face struggles. You need to embrace it. So how you stay aligned to your personal vision in the midst of uncertainty is realizing that uncertainty is part of the package. It's not a sign that the vision is faulty or the vision will not be done or will not be achieved. It's part of it. Because one thing also that pushing through uncertainty does for you is that it builds conviction in you. And there are places you cannot get to without building conviction about your vision. You don't build conviction about your vision without uncertainty or without opposition. You don't. So how do you don't just build conviction and be like, I feel like I'm sure that you don't understand. Like, it's not just affirmations are important, but guess what? You will need to experience the situations where you will need those affirmations to build the conviction. You are not experiencing anything, everything is going smoothly, and you are giving affirmations. You will give affirmation. Oh, everything is just smooth. I've said, I am. You have millions in your account, and you say, I am rich in Christ. Hello, you have millions. You already have the money. Imagine that you have less than 10K, and you now have to say, I am rich in Christ because God has told me that I'm going to have abundance. Please, that's when you need the affirmations more. You need the affirmations more when your reality is not matching the vision that you are seeing. But you still need to stay the course because all of those uncertainties build conviction in you. So I don't know how to explain this further, but you realize that number one, uncertainty is part of the package. Number two, we push through in the midst of uncertainty to build conviction. Number three, the uncertainty you face will also be a shining light for other people in the future. Right. And one thing that uncertainty will also do is it will build your backbone. It will build your backbone. Very, very important. So I hope I answered that question, Abimbola. Thank you.
Okay, so we take one more. Sorry, hold on. And it
I think
says
we're more than one.
okay, let's see. On personality tests, every time I take personality tests, the results are always different. How do I keep aligning with the results? How do I keep aligning the results of those tests with how I see myself?
This is very. I've never heard of personality tests being different before. So it's one of two things. It's likely one of two things, right? Number one, the parameters for the personality test might be different. So sometimes some personality tests are focused on your work behavior, how you show up at work, or how you show up with work and all of that. Some personality tests are focused on your capacity for innovation, vision, leadership. So it could be that these leadership tests are addressing different areas of your life, right? It could be that. So you want to step back and see. And if they are, it means that they are not going to be different. They are just going to be different things under you as a person that you still need to take and go and think about. Now, if it is the same kind of leadership test and you are getting different results, it could be that you are taking the tests at different seasons of your life. So if you take a personality test, for instance, that is focused on is there a word like recency? Something recent anyway, and recently you've been going out, you've been standing in front of the camera, you've been hosting friends, you've been attending parties. and they ask you, do you like staying with people and all of that, your answer is going to be yes. Meanwhile, if you take it in another season where you're not um, as outgoing, it will take a great level of self-awareness for you to realize that, okay, I'm not as outgoing as I am, but I'm still an extrovert. Do you understand? So it could be that the tests you are taking are focusing on different areas of your life, because no personality test handles every part of your life. All personality tests usually have like a focus. So some are focused on your capacity to create a vision and see a vision through, lead innovation and all of that. Some are, they focus on how you are able to relate with people, interpersonal relationships. Some will be how you show up at work, your work personality, how you are able to deliver change on whatever level. So if they if they keep changing, it's likely because of something like that. And so you don't align the result of the test with how you see yourself. What these tests are supposed to do, they are not supposed to um how do I put it? They are not supposed to be the goal. They are supposed to be a pointer. And that's why the tests, you don't just look at the positive part of the test, you look at the negative parts of the test as well, so that you can develop yourself. So okay, they say, oh, I normally I don't, I'm not attuned to such a thing, but I need this for my life or for my destiny. I need to improve on this area. Do you understand? So you don't just look at the positive parts of your personality test, because you are not all positive. Sorry, that came out wrongly, but you understand what I'm like. You should understand what I'm trying to say. There are different parts of your life. Some are strengths and some are weaknesses. So the goal is not for you to have a personality test that is so good, it now becomes your it now becomes what you look up to become to know. Personality tests are supposed to reveal who you are, so you know the areas that you should solidify and the areas that you should work on. So I hope that helps, Jewel.
Okay, so there's one more question here. As you wish. Talking about your goals, how do you balance looking up to people because they are more like pictures of possibilities and still try not to get lost in trying to imitate all that is about them?
Okay. So what I would say for this one is, yes, it's actually it can be dicey, but the number one thing that you will need is your anchor. Who exactly are you? Like, if you didn't meet this person, who would you be? If you didn't follow this person for the next 1 year or 5 years, who would you be? If this person was not in the picture at all, who would you be? And part of reflection is also asking, I know I talk about reflection a lot, but I am always asking myself a lot of questions that, okay, this thing that I am doing, this thing that I am thinking, is it really mine? Am I really thinking about it for myself? Am I really, like, is it really mine? So it boils down to um thinking. How do I put it? It boils down to regular reflection, where you are sincere with yourself and this one is not from me. Now, it's not all bad when you try to imitate people, right? It's bad when imitation makes you get lost in yourself. That's when the problem is. So there are things that you'll be able to pick from people which are important for your own life. For instance, habits, they are important. So if a person is a consistent person, please, you can pick the consistency from them. If they are disciplined, pick the discipline from them. If they are whatever it is, please, what if it's a principle backed habit, please speak from them. Right. But when it comes to activities and actions, I think this should clarify. When it comes to activities, actions, programs, projects, that you now want to be sure that you are doing something because you really need to do it and not because you are trying to imitate somebody. At the end of the day, what it looks like to you will be different from what it looks like to others. So sometimes God may even lead you to, which is sorry, I'm digressing, but sometimes God may lead you to launch a vision that looks similar to what somebody else has launched. But you know that God asked you to do it. So you're not going to be like, ah, I'm not going to do it. And this was one of the challenges that me I had when I was growing. Sorry, not when I was growing up. Sorry, when I was growing in, the visionary journey. There are people who find it very easy to copy people. I'm not one of those. My own challenge is if I see somebody has already done it, the chances of me doing it again it's very very slim because I'm like I don't want to be seen doing something other people are doing. Until God had to tell me that listen, I can give multiple people the same vision and they will execute it different ways. So if you are saying you don't want to do something that God has asked you to do because somebody else is doing it and you don't want to be seen as copying the person, then what you're doing is elevating ego over destiny. Simple. Do you realize? Do you understand rather? So it's really consistently asking yourself, reflecting, asking yourself tough questions. Am I really doing this because this is what I should be doing, or this is who I am, or because it's something that I picked up from other people? So I hope that answers your question, Abimbola.
Whoosh. Thank you so much, Well. Thank you for honoring our invitation. And this was really powerful. Like,
Okay.
I mean, I expected it, but as always, you would always exceed our expectations. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, so hi everyone. We would move on to the next session now in just 1 minute.
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
We can.
Can you hear me? Okay. So, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Abimbola, and I'm going to be the moderator for the next session. And the next session is going to be on friendships, internal intentional balance in friendships. So I'll be reading the and we have the our panelists for that is the what they call it, the idea room group of friends. So I'll be reading their profile for you to hear me. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Sorry, can you hear me? Okay, thank you. So the idea room, it has four people there. We have Olugbade, Deborah, Olutola Olukoni, Ainkelulu Adireti, Eboluanimi, Ipadiola. So the idea room began as a space for shared inspiration created by Deborah with two close friends, Eboluanimi and Olutola, to just always dump the endless stream of ideas that flowed in. Months later, Ainkelulua joined, and the group naturally evolved into something more, a safe haven where thoughts are shared freely, laughter is abundant, and strength is drawn from one another. Rooted in faith and friendship, they are navigating highs and lows together, discussing everything from career and business to personal growth and everyday joy in the little space, such as ice cream. More than just a group chat, the idea room is a sisterhood built on trust, encouragement, and the simple yet profound joy of showing up for one another. Please, I want us to clap our hands. Let me see the virtual hands as we welcome Olutola, Deborah, and Aikelulu and Ebolu and Nimin. Can we clap for them
as they join.
Yeah,
I can't see your
we are
hands. I
talking
can't see
about
your hands. I
ourselves
want to see
too.
the hands. Okay. Olutola is on the screen. Hi, Olutola. How are you doing
I'm
today?
fine, thank you,
Hi.
Abimbola. Great to be here.
Hi, Abimbola.
Hi, Abimbola.
Hi. Hi, Hebulu Anime. Okay, Hebulu is trying to
Hi,
join.
hi, hi.
Ah, such a very. Hi, you look so pretty. Love the fashion woman. So you came prepared.
Oh, God.
Yeah, welcome. Okay, so and where is Anke?
Hi guys.
Hi.
Okay. Hello, 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 hello.
We can hear you, so you can go ahead.
Okay, so I want to say, is everybody here now?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
I
Yeah.
want to
Okay.
start the
We're
first
all
Yes.
here.
question. And okay, good. Thank you very much. So I would like to ask you, Deborah. Is that good? We good. So as a starter question, Deborah, my first question would be that you were the one that created this group. What was Yeah, good to hear. Thank you. What was your vision when you created this group? Like, who else said that? Think of what were you thinking of? Did you see do you think it was a group that you would immediately remove, or what were you thinking when you created the group? Like, what was the thought in your mind? Did you see it as a long term thing, or did you see it as a short term thing? That was like a spur of
Okay,
the moment
so
question. So,
thank you for that question. Did I say it
okay,
as a
can we have
long?
it, Deborah?
Thank you for the question. Looking back
Did you hear
now,
me?
Abimbola, we can hear you. I think you are lagging. So looking back now, was it long term? Well, maybe a bit of it actually, because like the bio said, I'm always busting with ideas. I always have something going on in my head, and these were two people, Ebon, Oluwanimi and Olutola were two people that I knew that anything I could share anything, and it takes me back to the point where from self-awareness to self-awareness in friendship, whereby I knew these people were for me and I knew I was for them. I knew they were my safe space, and that is why I could open this group with them, right? I knew who I was and I knew who they were, and I opened it for that purpose because I knew that to go far in life you need people. You can't go far alone. So these were two people that I wanted to go far with, and I decided to open this group, and we would always dump ideas. Majorly it was me because I'm the planner in, I mean, amongst the four of us, right? And at some point, Anike came into my life, and I knew that this woman had to be part of this group because she just had to be part of it, and that was how the idea room was bettered. So yeah, and that's where the name came from, for ideas, even though it's more than that now.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for your. So I'll go to the next question. I answer your questions in 2 minutes maximum. Do we get it? Thank you. So the first question I would have now will be for Ebolu Anime. Hi, Ebolu Anime.
Hi. Where was
Can
I
you hear me?
expecting that? Yes, I can hear you.
Anyway, don't worry. Don't worry. You're not expecting anything. So your question, okay, find that many often find that we don't found effective for managing this dynamic while still offering genuine support. So this showing emotions, giving emotions, how do you put it for you?
Can you? At some point, you were actually frozen, so I didn't hear the beginning.
Hey, I apologize for that. So I'll go back again. I said that many of us often find that we do emotion. Can you still hear me? Am I good now?
Yes,
Yeah.
we can hear you now.
All right, thank you. like emotional work now, oftentimes you find out that okay, we give emotions, give we are doing a lot of emotional work in friendship. I can attest to that. I know that friendship takes emotions and all. So my question is, what strategies have you found effective for managing this while still offering genuine support in your friendship circle? How have you been able to manage emotional work in your friendship circle? What strategies have you found effective?
Okay, thank you so much. I think I was telling some of my friends sometimes ago that I think I have a lot of friends, and I at first I used to say I don't have much friends, but over time I've seen that oh my god, when I opened a folder for them, I realized that I have a lot of people in my life, and one of the things that has helped me in being an emotional person and navigating relationship emotionally is knowing the part of my life that this person fits in, right? I mean, nobody can fit you. All part of your life cannot be fit into one person, right? So I noticed that there's some people I'm comfortable talking with just my career with. I noticed, and I would relate with them with that. Do you get? I'm not trying to dump the other side of me on them, now weighing them or maybe affecting them. So I understand people's role in my life, people's place in my life. And there's some people that I know that I can be vulnerable with them. Like there's no unabashed, unashamed. I can just be myself. I can let go of whatever fear I have, thinking, oh, this person will not understand me with them. So this has really helped me understanding that people have roles in my life. Not everybody can. Why is Otola smiling? Not everybody can fit in into the whole role. I need to punch this woman. So and that has really helped me, right? So I know that if I'm coming to collaboration or if I'm coming to a DR room, I can say anything. Like I can say, oh, this thing happened today. This person, all of that I will say, I'm having it, and it's so easy to relate. There's no it's where
There's no
I just let
filter.
go everything. You get? I just let go everything. I dropped it like you come into your friend's house and just drop your bag. Like, Kileni, what do you have at home? So, and that has helped knowing that people play major role in your life, and there are some roles that some people cannot fit into. There's some role that some people fit into. So, those are the strategies I've worked with because if you tend to go far in life, you must really understand um I don't want to say compartmentalizing people, but putting people within their place in your life. So I don't want to talk too much. Yeah, that's it.
All right, thank you very much. Can
Yes,
you
we
hear
Yeah.
me?
can.
Yes.
That's a lot of time for me now. So, Litola, this question is for you. You were dragged. Was that good? So,
Bring it on.
oh my God. Litola, so my question for you is that how do you practice vulnerability in
Mm,
friendship? So, now what advice can you give to women? How do they practice vulnerability in friendship that fosters deep connection without feeling overexposed?
okay.
So, how do I tell my friends? How am I vulnerable, my friends, that is fostering deep connection, but I'm not still feeling like, am I sharing everything, or am I naked and unashamed? I do you get? So that's the question for you.
Okay. Yes, thank you. That question, I think, is actually a very important question in friendship because I believe that if I am
I so I can hear you.
Okay, can you hear me? Is it better?
So I can
Hi.
hear her.
Can anybody? Oh,
You
okay. I
can hear
think it's
her.
just Abimbola. Abimbola, your network receive healing. Okay, so
Amen.
I'm a firm believer that of vulnerability in friendship. If I am your friend, I want to believe that there are some things I should be able to share with you, and there are some things I should be able to hear from you. I mean, I should not be hearing some kind of information about you from another person. It is, I would feel like maybe you don't value me, except if it is maybe that kind of friendship is just the we have to like form for ourselves. But if it is an insider, like a kind of friend that is in my holy of the holies, then I am vulnerable. And one thing is that I can be a yapper, yes. So I can just come and say the random things. Come and see, they can testify to it. I can be having a very hard day at work, and then I'll just come and drop it. This moment I'm ranting about work. The next moment I can be ranting about maybe NEPA. There's no light. The next thing I just remember something and I just drop it because that is how I think we can bond beyond maybe what do you do at work, what are you doing for business, what are you like. I believe that when we're able to talk about everything or anything at all, it fosters the bond. And for people who don't know, we are all in different locations. Yes, three of us are in Lagos, one person is in Ibadan. Despite that we're in Lagos, we are far apart. I'm staying in Ikotu, like the suburbs, and the others they are staying on the better part of the mainland and all of that. But because we are able to share sometimes with ourselves, we are able to be vulnerable, even to the point of, guys, I don't know what's going on in my life again. I don't know what is happening. You get somebody that will just come up and say, why not do this? Why not do that? If I'm not vulnerable, if I'm keeping it in, if I'm locking up and I'm not speaking, how would they be able to help? I mean, recently we had a conversation that brought up some conversations, some things about how to focus, ensure that nothing is distracting. It is not like we don't know those things, but the fact that we're able to talk about them, somebody is vulnerable enough to share, and everybody is like, okay, you can't be that. Oh, yeah, do this, do this. We know these things, but we are just reminding ourselves, and it is just like a way of keeping us in check. So, vulnerability helps you feel loved, also helps you feel like you belong to a community of people who wants to listen to you, who are always ready to hear from you. It also helps you to foster that bond. You know that you guys are not losing touch. You are not somewhere in the corner of your room and you're wondering, maybe Aike does not like me again. Maybe Ebonua does not like me again. Maybe she's bonding more. Like, I don't even think you can have that issue because we bond over every other thing. And this is to let you know that we've not even done 5 years anniversary or 10 years anniversary, but it looks like we grew up in the same place. That is the power of vulnerability, really. We can go on and talk and talk and talk about this, but I think I'll just keep it here.
Okay, so I'm going to piggyback of what Tola just said, where we had that we've not known for long, and it feels like we've known for long, which is true. Except for Tola, I've known Tola since I was in 100 level, at the 100 level. Tola is the longest person that I know on this group, right? But that vulnerability has helped us to build. There are some days that want to hold back. It's very tempting to hold back. It's very tempting to be like, they have their lives. It's very tempting to say that, but yeah, I should just let it. I should just keep it. But I've learned over time that you can't do intentionality without vulnerability, especially when it comes to relationships. Even when it comes to anything, you can't do anything without intentionality without vulnerability because you need it to help you open up. You need it to help you um, be able to tell them this is going on, and they can tell you, oh, this is what you can do. For example, a few weeks ago, was it a few weeks ago? Aike came to the group to drag us that we did not tell her, we did not remind her of our podcast. Meanwhile, everybody
Yeah.
was going through a lot. I also had mine on my end, and I had my dragging, right? So, but it was very good that she mentioned it because if she hadn't mentioned it, we wouldn't have been able to say that, this is going on with everybody. What can we do about it? And the conclusion we came with was we would have ice cream night. Now, in case we were wondering where the ice cream for our bio came from, that's where it came from because we all love ice cream together. And they said we banter to the littlest things, or down to, I want to go and buy ice cream. Should I go and buy ice cream? That's how much we go. That's how far we go. So that's where that ice cream came from. And then we decided, okay, every Sunday, how can we meet? Now, because we understand that people have a lot of things to do, instead of the regular, oh, let's meet on Google Meet, let's have a call on WhatsApp, we just said, just come to the group and drop it. Since that is what can work for now. Whenever we are on anybody is online, they will see it and they will respond. And it's been going well, I must say, because I was able to let out things that were on my mind that I could not let out because, oh, I'm very tired. They might be tired. So when you have friendships, the point I want you to get from this is you guys can create systems together that would make it work for you.
Mhm.
You have the same value, correct? You have the same principles. Fine and good. Doesn't mean everything is going to go smooth. You have to be intentional and create that system to work together. Now, I have a
Yeah.
question for you. Is there any time that you have ever been jealous of anybody on this? Because that's like the most question people ask when it comes to friendships. So let's answer that. Is there any time that you've
What?
had a jealous?
I was about to say that I was going to tag Ayike like this going to ask, okay, were there any time jealous? No. And to be honest, I am a very I can be very jealous, but I don't think there's ever a time where because I'm the one staying in Ibadan, you guys are staying in Lagos, right? And I sometimes I could feel like I'm being left out because you guys get to sit together and me, I'm just talking about unless the time I get to come to Lagos. But I don't think there was ever a time where I was jealous that these people are living. I don't it never occurred to me. The only thing is I'll drag it that you people, that picture is not fine because I'm not there. Maybe when three of you snap together and say, oh, that picture is ugly. There is no me there. So I think it's just because at the same point, I know that these people, they for me. You get and that's at the back of my mind always make me feel like yeah these are my G's, these people are for me. There's no why should I feel jealous, why should that thoughts rise up in me. So I don't think there was ever a time where I felt jealous that oh maybe these people are doing something behind me and I didn't know. Without I would just drag everybody by their ears and drag it to the group. So yeah, there was a time.
Yeah, so I think that is one place vulnerability also comes in, because whenever we mention vulnerability, people think it is the time when you're sad and you're just putting your head on the table and you're looking for people to encourage you and saying don't cry, masukuma, and all of that. Vulnerability is as simple as letting people in your life know what is going on, the next step you want to take. So because we are aware that this person is doing this in our initiative, this person wants to do this in our business, it helps us to be able to keep track. So it is not like the communication is one-sided. So the communication like happens on the group. So even now getting to the point of have you ever been jealous of one time? Let me say the truth. When Deolu and Ayike's friendship started, I was like, God, hope this girl will not take my friend away. Because they were seeing
Are you
almost every
there?
Sunday.
Perfection time.
They were seeing every Sunday. And I mean, the mainland to my own side is very far. We don't attend the same church. We may not see for like 3 months and all of that. So I think I got to the point I was like, okay, I'll be very intentional about making sure I see them once in a while. So sometimes we worship together in the same church. One person's house is not far from my workplace. If I go to the workplace, I go to see her and all of that. So the fact that we are involved in
You
one
did not see me as
or
telling
two,
towers the last time you came.
no, I did not see you as I didn't see you as a threat, because I know you are the mama of the group. You are the mama, so that one like that was. I don't think I've ever felt jealous in the whole relationship, because at one point or the other, I know what is going on. There is no reason to be like, she told this person, she didn't tell me. Okay, means I'll do as if I did not know and all of that. I just wanted to chip that in, really.
Okay. So Anke, on the days where you are fighting with Excel sheets, let's put it, I don't want to say everything with my full mouth. how do you how do you keep up with the energy that you need to be on the group, or how do you keep up? I don't know if you get my question.
Okay. Can you repeat it? Because I lost
Okay,
you for
so
a bit.
on the days where you're fighting with Excel sheet and it feels like let everybody get out. But then how do you now come to the point where these people are my people, I need to go and update them, I need to go and let them know that this is going on, without leaving us out, without feeling like these people don't send.
Thank you for the question. That's actually a very tough one because it's something I struggle with a lot.
Mm.
Because um, um, work can be very demanding, especially because of the role I play in my firm. So it can be very tough, especially when I know that I have to deal with regulators, clients, and then my superiors, and then have to manage multiple teams. It can be very annoying. And there are days where being an introvert, yes, I identify as an introvert. Being an introvert, it can be very tough and draining. And there are days where I'm just like, whoa,
I can't deal. Everybody should just get out. Let me just focus on this thing. But then, because of these women here, I realized that I just sometimes what you just need is a break, and for you to do that, you need your people. And I'm like, oh, I just drop a message in the chat because communication is very key in relationships. I hope I'm making sense. Communication is very key. So I just drop a message in the chat box like, this person is moving weird today. This is what I'm dealing with today, and then conversations will just come, and that will give you guys that'll just give a little bit of clarity and then remind me that I need to step back. Now, imagine having to do all this because I'm a content creator. I put out a post recently about managing multiple friendships with the demands and everything in between. Now, I am also married. So I have to deal with intimacy in marriage, intimacy with my friendships, and then having to deal with work. It's a lot. But then, like I said, communication is key. So you have to like. There are days where I'm like, okay, I can't deal. I need to take a break. I just drop a message in the chat box like, you guys, today is just that day. It is that day. And sometimes I have to tell my husband like, guys, oh, today is not the day. I'm just not myself. And then the fact that everybody in my life is very understanding. Because in keeping up with all these relationships, I still need to relate with my mother. My mother is very dramatic. I know she's on this live. My mother can be very dramatic. She will send messages and she'll be like, "Don't you want to talk to me?" And I'm like, "My dear Lord, you this woman, you don't even know what I'm dealing with right now." But yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, communication very important. And you need to be very accountable to the people in your
Yeah,
life
true.
because work is not the only thing that makes up who you are. It's not the only thing that defines you. There are other people in your life. You have mentors, you have mentees, you have people that you're accountable to. You have things that you volunteer for, and you need to create time for all of those things, right? Like Taiwo said in the first panel session, she mentioned about budgeting your time. I've gotten to the point in my life where if it's not on my calendar, but but I've learned to be flexible and to make time for my people. Because there are days that Deborah will enter my DM and she'll be like, she'll send a 10-minute voice note. And you'll be like, oh my god. Because I'm someone that I don't do very well with voice notes. If you send me a voice note today, I might not listen until maybe the next 7 business days. But because of the kind of people I am dealing with here, I need to create time to, settle down so that I can be in a very good headspace to actually deal with the demands of friendship. I hope that answers the question. And
Oh,
Ebu is see dealing with Ebu. It's actually very hard trying to get her at the same time. Sometimes Tola, Deborah, and I would have actually sorted out a matter, and then Ebu will come back 3 business days later. Answer some messages one by one. And that is professionality at its core because for
Exactly.
somebody like me on a
She will not
normal day,
skip.
I will not even, I will like, oh, you guys are sorted it, let's move on. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
But
just so
now,
glad. Yeah, right. I'm just so glad that I get to do life with these women. Right? So yeah.
all right. Hi, everyone. Hope you have enjoyed this session. Hope you've been able to learn about intentionality with friendships. We decided to have this session because you can't, like I said at the beginning, you can't go far alone in life. You need people. That song "Lonely at the Top" is not for people like me. We don't do that. It's not our reality, and we
Me
want
too.
that you get to have your people, you get to have your community. It's very important. And to wrap up this session, we're coming to the end of this. This is our final session. Hooray! I mean, it's been 3 hours, and I want to say thank you. Thank you very much. We've had amazing time. And to wrap up this session, we'll just take one sentence from each person, Tola, Ebon, Luanimi, and Ainke, and we'll wrap it up. Short sentence. Thank you very much.
okay, I think I will go first.
Ebon can
Then
go
I'll
first.
pass
No,
to. Okay, okay,
You pass the mic.
okay.
Let's have it.
Let's give it to Ebon. Ebon, please go first. Do us the honor.
No, no, I'm not. I'm not. No, I'm not. You're not doing this here.
Just give us the context.
Okay, okay. So I will just go first, and
There's a
that
question.
would be
We have a question. Oh, so who's going to take that?
okay.
Okay. So let me read it out. We can use that to wrap up actually. She says, what
Yeah.
do you do when you have a friend who only likes to hear you talk about yourself, but never, oh my lord, I like this
This is
question,
a
but never
this
about
one.
themselves? It's a red flag.
I was going to say
That's a simple
red
red
flag.
flag.
Yeah.
I still thought about it yesterday, and how that just because I'm currently in that situation in a way. I have people that, I mean, those my friends know that I have this email list, right, where I send people emails. And yesterday I was just thinking about it, that from time to time I let my vulnerability out and I send out that mail. But I've never had some people respond, and I'm going to review that list. So it's a red flag, to be very honest. It's not like I have anything against, but it's just sitting down to say, okay, at this current stage of my life, who are the people that are feeding me as much as I'm feeding them? How can we move forward? Is there anything dragging me back? Is there anything dragging me back? So that's a red flag. I don't know if anybody else has anything.
Okay, so quite alright, it's a red flag, and it could also mean that the person is not very, very comfortable with being vulnerable normally. So I would say that you should audit that
Yeah.
friendship. Try to
Yeah.
find the root cause of her being of that person, whether male or female, the root cause of the reason for the person being not being able to be vulnerable with you. It could be that you must have done something one time and the person does not trust you again. I'm not saying that you're a
That's
bad person,
understandable.
but there are a lot of things that can make the person not want to be vulnerable with you. But if it's a case of the person, also, have you shown interest in them and in their life, right? Even if someone is trying to know what is going on with you all the time, have you just reached out one day and like, oh hi, what's going on with you? I just thought of you today. How is work going? How is this going? And if the person is still giving the vibe of one word answers, oh, I can't be bothered to tell you, I don't want to. I think you need to audit that friendship. Like I would always say, you need to audit your friendships because again, you can't afford to be with people who do not buy into you. Because you yourself, you're a vision, you are a person, you are God has created you to be something, and if the person is not buying into you enough to be able to trust you to help them through whatever it is, I don't think that's a friendship. I don't even think that's as in that.
Yeah, I think you guys have
Not
actually
really.
said it all. But I just wanted to put
Yeah.
another angle to it. Some people are not just comfortable with talking about themselves, probably because of their background in their family. You cannot say some things. Even if mommy travels, you can never say that mommy traveled. It has to be mommy call mommy wa. Daddy
Mommy
ńkọ́, daddy
Jad.
wa, ṣé wọ́n sí nílé ni? Wọ́n wà okay, wọ́n mi jáde. You don't so some people are just like that because of their background, and there's some people that there are some news that they will never share with anybody because they believe if they do it will be jinxed or something. So people have different reasons why they may not want to
Yeah.
share all of this. But like Aika had said, you may want to also audit it and also
Yeah.
know that friend. What kind of friend are they? Should they just be your I kind of a friend, or they should be that one that you say, "Come, I can." We cannot be in this relationship, and I'm the one always doing the talking, except you want to just keep quiet and not because it can be very stressful. And I'm speaking from experience, really. Especially when you want to go the route of okay, me too, I'll not say my own again. You will not know when you jabber one of these days.
Especially if you're
So
a
yeah,
talker.
the audit
Yeah,
is
if you're
very
a
important.
yapper,
The
you
audit is
need
very
to
important.
if
So
you're
yeah,
a
the key
yapper, you
takeaway
need
is
to
to
find
budget.
like-minded people so that you don't feel alone in the friendship,
Mhm.
right? Yeah.
Thank you so much, everybody. And we've come to the end of this session. It
Yeah.
was nice having you guys. I love you guys very
Love you
much.
all the
I want to add one. I want to add one thing since I didn't add to that question, and
Yeah.
I figured like this is my own one thing, and I think there's this thing that's Oluwabereshu. Okay, let me call her Deolu here. We used to talk about, which is when you're going somewhere in your next 10, 15 years, who are the five people that you want to follow you there? And I think that should be a basis of friendship for you, right? That should be you must have your own definition of friendship, your own how would I call it, things that you don't go back on friendship, and also who are the people that align with you that you want in the next 15 years. I still want these people to be with me. I want my children to be with me. I want their children to be with my children. I want to go and dump my children in their house and go, and and not just that, achieve great things together. So that thing is going to help you in choosing your friends, right? Most importantly, your inner core, the people that you know that you can fall back anytime and they're going to carry you. Look at your circle of friendship now. Who are the top five people that you would like to go forward with? I think that should help you. I love you guys and I'm rooting for you.
Rooting for you too.
I only God knows how many kisses I've blown today.
All right, all right, all right. Definitely, I
Yeah.
can step that now. So, lol, yeah. Tola, over to you. Thank you for our
All
co-host.
right. Thank you everyone for joining this session. If you started with us, I are still here till this point. I think you deserve a big round of applause. And I would have said maybe Art and Intentions should come and drop something on your doorstep, but let's keep it for another day. Thank you everyone for joining us from this session. From the very beginning till the end, it was like a hit for me back to back, with OL coming with all of the nuggets with funny things in between, makes it like it was like the icing on the cake for every one of us. And then the friendships panel, oh god, let's not even talk about the panel at all. The power panel, that was a very beautiful one with all of our speakers. They brought their A game to it, giving us tips, productivity tools, productivity hacks. And like we said when we started, the idea of this session is not just to inspire you, it is to inspire you to the point of taking actions. Because if you don't take these important actions, then more like we've not achieved the aim of this session. So, as we celebrate women, we are celebrating women who do, they walk the talk, not just the talk aspect. So if you are still on this call, we want you to just drop a message in the chat what you will be doing better from now on. You can drop the that's very key moment you've had since you started this session, and don't stop tweeting. Tweet about this today's session. Tweet at us. Use the hashtag the intentional woman, and let us know that you are really, really everybody who has come out to support us, either our friends, our family members. We even have some of our mothers here. Mommies, we love you. Our friends, we love you. And for those of us that have our men join us, because I know that there is one auntie here that our man is here. Thank you, brother, for joining us. All right. So this conference is brought to you by Arts and Intentions. And if you are looking to create gifts for your loved ones, your mom, your dad, your partner, your church members, anybody your love, anybody, family and friends, please reach out to us. We are taking off the stress of sourcing gifts. You don't want to go to a co-market and be walking about looking for what to give somebody, and at the end of the day it becomes a Greek gift. No, let us do the work. Give us the headache. We will deliver to the person's doorstep or even to your doorstep, well, whatever means you want. So Art and Intentions, we dey for you, making gifting easy, making it heartfelt. There is nobody that has received our gifts and the person did not shed one or two tears of joy. Yes, that is the word on the street, and we have testimonials for it. Follow us on all social media handles at Art and Intentions. Tweet at us, and we will always be there to attend to you. You can also shop on our website, artandintentions.ng. Easy, seamless, and gives you the very best. If you want to customize your gift as well, we are here for you. Corporate gifting, individual gifting, even gifting to yourself. Yes, you can gift to yourself, and that is one way of living as an intentional woman. Don't wait for somebody to always give you the gift. Come to us, tell us what you want. We'll do package the gift and send it right to you wherever it is that you are. And just to add to it, that we deliver everywhere. Like there is no limits to our delivery. So thank you guys once again for joining us. We look forward to welcoming you as a member of Art and Intention. When you buy from us, you become a family member. And at the end of the year, ask people who purchased from us last year and see how we took care of them and told the world about them. So join the family, patronize us, tell people about us, and watch out for many more exciting programs that will be rolling out in the coming days, the coming weeks, and the coming months. Thank you for joining us. Shout out to every single one of you. You can also send your shout outs in the comment section. Do a shout out to one of the panelists, to the speaker, to one of the friends on the idea room. Shout out to Deolu, shout out to Ebulu and Nimi, shout out to Aike. We are doing this live together. Thank you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.